discussion is about communication, so the answers would be communication. But yes, the word is not communication, it's something else. I'm looking forward to good listener. Yes, language, skill, listening, confidence. I'm getting too many words. Patience, okay. Communication, language, knowledge. So it's coming too fast. I'm not opening all the chat boxes. It's just good listening skills. Okay, understanding, fantastic. Discipline, okay, very important. Confidence, that's fantastic. So I got quite a patient, being patient. Okay. So I got quite a few answers, and trust me, all of you are correct in your own ways. There is nothing better that we can expect. But let me give you the answer. Let me talk about that one word, which I'm sure after hearing from me, you would say, yes. हमने ये कैसे मिस कर दिया? How could we miss this? The word is networking. The word is networking. In today's world, if we are looking forward to success, if we are wanting to become successful, there is nothing more important than having a strong network. See, we all use our mobile phones, we all use Facebook, Facebook, and we all use Instagram. And trust me, and there, once we put a picture or we put a post, what is that one thing that we all expect? More and more likes and shares and comments and all of that sort. So we are looking forward to more people accepting us. So we are trying to put our social branding in picture, and we are trying to put our image into the world, and we are trying to expand that to the entire world, saying, okay, this is me, see. And for example, you have clicked a picture with 10 of your friends, right? It's a group photograph, it's a group fee, as we call it. You take your mobile phone and you take a groupie, and then there are 10 people in that group along with you, so there are 11 of you. And then once you click that, it's time for you to post that into Instagram or Facebook. But trust me, before doing that, no matter there are 10 people or there are 100 people, what do? We actually zoom and try to see how we are looking in that. So we only constantly look into how we look in that picture. We don't care about the rest of the world. If the other people are looking good, bad, we don't care. But we just want to see how my face is looking like. If we feel that, okay, I'm looking okay, then that goes to the social media. If we feel that, okay, this is not working out, not my picture is good, my eyes have come closed, or some maybe I'm making a bad face, then we say, okay, one more please, then we click once again. Because it's just that our image we want to put forward to the world. We want the world to see us in those eyes. So that's exactly what we do. And now with this picture being posted on social media, what are we doing? We are trying to kind of engage our network. Whoever is there in our network, we are trying to engage that more. We are expecting more followers with us. Sorry. Now, coming to the professional part of it, you all might be having a profile on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a very professional platform that we all know. Now, when we start working on LinkedIn, whenever we do a certification course, whenever we go for a new project, whenever we have achieved something, we make sure that we put that on LinkedIn profile. Why we do that? We want the world to know about what we are doing right now. Yeah, social networking. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So here, your success basically depends on the kind of networking that you have, the kind of people that you have around. So yeah, social networking. Now, since we have discussed this entire networking thing, we know networking, how important it is. Now, again, to keep that network alive, to be on that page, to live with the world, and to go forward with your vision and your mission, what do? You communicate, you interact with people. And how do you interact? Sometimes through chat messages, sometimes you say directly message me, DM me. We write that in social media, and we say, ki, drop me a text on WhatsApp. So this is how we engage our audience into some kind of interaction. So basically, if networking is the word that is, ensuring our success, then to keep that network alive, we need to communicate. Like, even if we don't consider social network, even if we consider the store, next door, you have a store, maybe a small departmental store next to your house. You go there, and once you find the person, the shopkeeper, to be extremely rude to you, and then I'm sure, even if that store has very good stock of things that you need, still, if the shopkeeper has been misbehaving with other people, or maybe have been rude to you, I can guarantee that you won't be getting into that store once again. Rather, you prefer going a little far ahead to some other smaller store where the stock is definitely less, but the person behaves and speaks nicely to you. So basically, we all are, kind of craving for some kind of good behavior and some kind of great communication. So that's the importance of communication in our life. We cannot skip that. If you can effectively express yourself to the people who are around you, those people are taken into your confidence, and then the magic happens. It's an instant magic. People love talking to you, people love interacting with you, and they love the kind of aura and the vibration that you give out. So this is all about communication. When you see somebody for the first time, when you meet somebody for the first time, you don't even know if the other person is talented, not talented. You have no idea. You are getting introduced to that person for the very, very first time. But still, after speaking to that person for 2 3 minutes, if you feel okay, wow, I feel good talking to this person, then you feel like, craving to meet that person over and over again. For example, this entire webinar that we are doing right now, I haven't seen you guys. You guys are actually seeing me for the first time. But the first 5 7 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes now, we have spent knowing each other, talking about the basics of life. Imagine this entire webinar starting with a very dark, gloomy communication where yeah, definitely, Basant Kumar. I'll get back to you. We are going to discuss in detail with PowerPoint presentation. So I'm sure all the questions will be, answered. I will give all your answers, clear all your doubts to the best of my knowledge. We'll have a one-on-one conversation. I would want to hear it from you, and that's so important. So what I was saying is, like, we are just now 7 10 minutes into this webinar, uh, and already so many people writing in their ideas. They are That's so sweet of you to say, Shubham. I'm thankful. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. When you start a session where you meet a stranger, and then within the first 5 7 minutes, you start building a connect. There's a connection that happens instantly, and there is nothing more beautiful and more magical than connecting with strangers. And when they feel good about this, after this session gets over, after 2 hours, if you feel okay, wow, that was a 2 hour session, but we felt so good. And now we feel as if now we know so much. Maybe in 2 hours, how much can I teach you? Maybe I can guide you. I don't even use the word teach, because I don't call myself a professor or a faculty. Rather, I prefer myself calling a guide, a mentor, somebody who is a little more experienced into the field, who can guide you through. So after 2 hours, if you feel that, okay, now I think in the last 2 hours, it feels like overwhelming. Wow, so much we have learned. Though I have guided you only a little bit, That is the magic of having positive, effective communication. So here we begin with the main topic of our effective communication. And by now, in the last 10 minutes, I believe all of you have already understood what do we exactly mean by communication. It is not just the verbal message that you send, but the smile that you can see on my face, the kind of gestures that I'm making while talking to you, my facial expressions, my hand movements, everything. Oh, thank you so much. Somebody has called me Junior NTR, and I'm really happy about that. Thank you so much, Vacha. Uh, Yes. So, this is what I expect out of every session when I get a lot of reciprocation from the other side and they say, we love it and we would want to have more conversations with you. This is exactly what magical conversation is all about. So, let's get into the topic, finally, the technical part of it, and then let's discuss. But before that, is there anybody, I mean, I always believe in having a two-way conversation. So if there is anybody who would like to say something, switching on your microphone, I would love to hear it from you. Would you like to share any idea? Maybe 2-3 minutes we can spend there before we hit the main part of the show. So is there anybody? Please raise your hand so that we can hear you. Maybe 2-3 minutes. Your name, where you are from, and that would make me immensely happy that, okay, my audience is alive. So is there anyone? Um, I can see 99 plus chats, but I didn't see any hand being raised. I don't know. Okay, let me open the chat box. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Shubham. Is there anything else? Okay. It seems nobody wishes to speak at the moment, but that's okay. We can save a little session time for the question and answer round. So let us get into this entire session. Okay. Shubham Agarwal from MCOM. Okay. Arpit sir, I would just want to know if somebody wants to speak, that person only has to chat or that person has got the
Sir,
liberty to.
we are managing to provide them the audio rights also. It will take a minute. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, sir. Only when somebody wants to say something, if the person requests, then
If the
please
person will
go ahead
request,
and
so
grant the permission.
I'm sorry. If the person will request, we'll make them panelist so that they can control the mic also.
Absolutely. So again, I understand the technical glitches also, to Sapna and to Shubham, to everybody, Rahul Kumar, who all are writing to me. I know you all are wanting to speak, but then again, let us consider the technical challenges also, because they are working really hard to get this happen. So of course, continuously switching and giving panelists right to everyone is definitely not an option. I totally understand. So as of now, let us continue with the chat box only. But going forward, okay. See, hi to everyone. This feels so nice that all of you are reciprocating. I love all of you, and absolutely. So you all will get that right, but maybe a little later. Let them work. Let us begin the session, and then it'll be like all a mess otherwise. Okay. Yeah. Hi to everyone. Let me get back. Now, all of you would need to tell me that if you can see my screen. I'm doing the screen sharing, so please let me know if it is completely visible to you. Is it visible to all of you? Oh, well, there are too many windows and I'm confused myself. I'm so bad when it comes to technology. I'm like, challenged. I'm kind of badly challenged there. So please forgive me for that. Apologies. Is it visible to everyone? Arpit sir, can you please just guide me through?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. Communication skills presentation. I think it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, since my video thing has minimized and now my own screen is visible, so I will not be able to see your chats right now. So, Bacha, this is a request to all of you listening to me out there. I will be talking about the technical part of it as of now for some time before I check the chat. So please do not keep writing chats all the time. Just wait for some time. If you have some issue after maybe 5, 6, 7 slides, 8 slides, I'll get back to you and ask if there is something that you would want to share. So let us do it that way. There are little technical challenges. All of you know, you all are very, very smart people, and I'm like, technologically challenged. So please forgive me for that. Okay, now let's begin. So here we are talking about communication skills. Let's move forward. Now, what does communication skills mean? Communication is actually a series of experience of what? Hearing, smelling, seeing something, touching someone, and tasting. So basically, we are talking about the five sense organs that we have. So when you start accepting things through your sense organs, it is a kind of communication that comes out in totality. All of these inputs are put together and they come out as a total understanding of communication. Now, verbally, your voice plays a major role that cannot be, minimized at any point. Visually, of course, the images that you say, that you see, the graphs, the maps, infographics, everything that you see. Non-verbally, it's a very, very strong part, and I would be coming to that part, a bit later, and we would be having a detailed discussion on non-verbal. I really wish we had a session only on nonverbal because that's such a huge topic that I would want to say that in detail. But today we'll just have to go through glimpses just to understand the meaning of it. Later on, we can definitely plan another session with all of you specifically on the nonverbal part of it. Then there is written communication where you write something and the other person understands. Now, moving on, communication skills is the ability to use language and express information. So whenever you are actually using any form of language, be that body language or the verbal language, and trying to express something to somebody else, then that is called communication. But here it is not over. You are saying and another person is listening. Trust me, the communication is never over there. There's a bigger aspect to it. Let us understand the basic concept of it. So communication happens when somebody starts encoding a message. So it all starts in you. When you start thinking that what needs to be spoken, then you start speaking it. So here it begins in your brain, then you start speaking it. So you are encoding and sending, right? So encoding and sending is over. Now coming to the other side of the communication, the other person, the listener, is receiving what you are sending and decoding. So you are encoding and sending, the other person receiving and decoding. That means trying to understand what you are saying. So decoded. Now this other person who is listening to you is giving you a feedback that, okay, I have understood what you are trying to say, or I have not understood what you are trying to say. Either way, somebody is sending, somebody is receiving. And after receiving, this person is giving a feedback. Hence, the entire circle becomes complete. So communication is only believed to be complete when you send, the other person receives, and this person gives you a feedback. So if there is no feedback, that means the communication remained incomplete because you have never understood if the other person has understood or not. वो जरूरी है ना? So you need to understand if the other person is clear about it. That means, so feedback is mandatory. For example, we are doing this session. By the time it ends this session, we all will be talking and you all would be sharing a feedback with me if it was good or bad. So based on your feedback, whatever mistakes I do, I'll try not to repeat them in future. That is a feedback which is essential for me to understand. Then only I can deliver better in the future, minus my mistakes. So feedback is very important for any kind of communication to happen effectively. Now, this is, the main major goals of communication, I would say, the why communication is being conducted: to change behavior, to get action, to ensure understanding, to persuade someone, to get and give information. Now, this is the basic thing. There are millions and zillions of reasons why we communicate. But here, when we talk about effective communication, we actually mostly concentrate on the professional part of it. So kind of communication that you do at your workplace or where you study, at the academic institution where you study. So we are mostly considering the professional side of it. So based on that, these are the most important parts for a professional point of view. Personal, there are millions and zillions other reasons. Now, communication is the activity or process expressing ideas and feelings. Just a second, my own chat box is coming in the way. Yeah. Communication is the activity or process of expressing ideas and feelings or of giving people information and instruction. So it is basically the way through which you are instructing someone or giving some information to someone or maybe showing up your feelings to someone. All of these factors are most important in case of communication. Most common ways to communicate, what are they? Speaking, writing, visual image, body language. Now, body language, as I said, has a huge possibility and learning, probability in the future. But as of now, for today, we will understand just the basics of it. Communication process, as I said, I just explained this before, that there is sender, there is encoding, sending, receiving, decoding, and feedback. See, the whole channel becomes complete that way. Now, codifying, decodifying, tree, all of that, whatever I explained, this is an explanation through pictures, through images. But I think I have already defined this to all of you, and I'm sure the kind of intelligent people you all are, you don't need a picture explanation to all this. I'm sure all of you have understood this very clearly. So let's quickly move on. Communication involves three components: verbal message, the things that I'm saying right now; paraverbal messages, that includes my voice, my tonal quality, my pitch, my volume, the intensity. So all of that would come under paraverbal, and there would be non-verbal. For example, the smile that I'm giving, the grumpy face that I'm making. So whatever expressions I say while communicating, that comes under non-verbal. And trust me, verbal messages can be lied. For example, you can always lie from your mouth, but your face always speaks the truth. You can't deny that fact for sure. You have gone to a marriage house where they have given you food. Now the food was terrible. Sometimes we, come across places like that where the food was not good or maybe not up to the expectations. Then the person comes and asks, how was the food? And then your answer is, okay, yeah, it was good. The other person instantly understands that, okay, maybe you are not extremely happy about the food. Of course, you are not saying, no, the food was not good. You can't say that. You can't be that rude, right? But again, by the way you say that, okay, yeah, the food was good, it was like the other person is smart enough to understand, okay, maybe you are just saying it for the sake of saying it. You are trying to make him happy. So you are lying. But instead, if you say, food was yummy, awesome, great food. So the moment you say like this, the other person, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was very worried if the food would actually go right. Now, when you have given such a lovely feedback, I'm happy that, okay, I'm contented, the food was good. So this is what happens to people. So you can lie from your mouth, but you actually cannot lie from your face. Your face always speaks the truth. And that is the, bitter truth of life. You cannot fake your facial expressions. Now, sending messages, effective verbal messages, how it should be. It should be brief and succinct and organized. When you are sending a message, like what I'm using, what I'm doing right now, when I'm sending you a message, I'm trying to keep the language as easy as possible for all of you, so that all of you can understand. I'm trying to make it very easy and clean, because my whole purpose is to make you understand, feel elated and happy about this seminar, this webinar. Whereas the second point says, are free from jargons. Now, what are jargons? Jargons is actually, this is important for all of you to know. When you start speaking something in front of an audience, when you start, giving away a speech, and you use very typical terms to express yourself, which the other people do not understand, then those are called jargons. Now, example, of course, I believe in teaching with examples so that everything is clear to all of you. Now, for example, you have a stomach ache, a very simple stomach ache we all have. We must have eaten some junk, my stomach is upset. So I've got stomach ache and I've gone to the doctor. Now, doctor, I've got terrible stomach ache. And then he sees with the stethoscope and everything. And then, you have got XYZ. And you're like, oh my God, is it okay? Do I need an operation? He's like, Are na. It's a simple disease. I mean, I'm giving you a prescription. You will be all fine in the next 2 days. So he's used a term XYZ, which is like in the medical field, any other doctor would understand it's a very simple thing. But for us, it is like, don't give me a shock. Will I be alive or am I going to die? So for us, we don't understand that term, right? So that's considered a jargon. So when you speak, if you use very difficult, bombastic English words which other people do not have an idea about, and you feel that, Arey wow, people will praise me for using such words because my vocabulary is fantastic. But trust me, nobody is going to praise you. Rather, people will say whatever you said, 50% of it is, went above my head. I did not even understand what does that word mean. So for us, it is very important not to make the message very complicated. Rather, keep it very simple and easy so that everybody can understand. And jargons are those words because every profession has got certain terms associated with it. And it is very important that we do not use those typical terms in case of a public delivery, because rest of the people, ordinary public, they would not understand those terms of a doctor. Only another doctor can understand terms of a, soldier. Only another soldier can understand, the kind of code words they use. So these are called jargons. So try not to use any word which is extremely difficult to understand, because other people will not be impressed with your vocabulary. Rather, they will be disgusted, they will be irritated, or at the most they would be bored that whatever you are saying, it's not their cup of tea, they're not even understanding. So a good communication is always free from jargons. Very user friendly, simple language, simple English, where everybody is understanding. There you are sharing a joke, everybody is laughing, you are laughing with them. That builds the connect, that makes it a more appealing session. And then do not create resistance in the listener. So try not to create any emotional barrier to the listener so that the listener is engaged somewhere else. For example, in one hand, I am asking you to listen to me carefully, right? How a speaker can create a barrier to a listener. I'm just giving you an example. Now take this session only. I'm expecting all of you to listen to me very carefully. You all are doing that. Now, all of a sudden, I say, okay, take out your pen and paper and write down what did you do last summer? Now you are now busy writing what you did last summer. You are thinking what you did, where you all had gone. So you are thinking, and now at the same time, I'm teaching you also. And then when you are writing, I'm saying, aha, Shubham, you are not listening to me. You are not giving me answers. Why? Arey, sir, you only told me to write, so I'm writing. So I am actually kind of, distracting you from your task. If I want you to listen to me carefully, then of course I should make way for that. You only would listen if I make, you all the possibilities to listen to me. Else, it will be like very difficult for you. I mean, you would listen or you would write. Which one you shall do? Now I can see the chat box is increasing with messages, and we are just started. So I'll come and check the chat box after 4 or 5 minutes. Let me go ahead with another 2 3 slides, and then we'll do that. Not right now, because once I'm there again, I'll be distracted. Please don't distract me, guys. Okay. Express thoughts, ideas, and feelings. This is what the importance of communication is. This is what we do through communication. We express our thoughts, we express our ideas and feelings, create awareness with everyone to fulfill a goal that we are trying to achieve. Avoid isolation. If you talk to someone, you feel that there are people around you. Now, this is what we all have experienced. I'm sure we all have experienced this in life, that maybe you are a little depressed. I won't use the word depressed, rather, maybe you are a little sad about something, you are a little worried about something, and then you want somebody to share your feelings and thoughts, but you are not finding the right person with whom you can share your thoughts. Then what do? We close ourselves in a room, and then we either listen to music or we speak to ourselves. Yes, if somebody listens to us from outside or sees us from the window, seeing that I'm talking to myself, the person will think, Are, ye to pagal ho gaya. He's gone mad. But we know in English there is a particular definition to this called soliloquy. Soliloquies are those sessions when you talk to yourself. There are so many times we need to discuss things, and there are so many things that we cannot even discuss with everyone. So there are limitations. So then we talk to ourselves either in the head or sometimes even by speaking. We speak to ourselves. So that is also important. That means when you speak, you feel a little lighter, you feel better. So that means isolation can be avoided through communication. Highlight some issue. When you are highlighting some issue, when you are trying to superimpose something, that is also a concept. Progress and development, we need communication for this. Educating the masses, etc., etc., etc. So this is the basic importance of communication as of now. After now this slide, communication, we have verbal, we have non-verbal. Then comes verbal communication, the definition of it. So I'm not going through what is written in this slide, rather I'm explaining it myself. What we are doing right now, what I am doing right at the moment, is called verbal communication, where I'm speaking something, and I'm speaking to someone. I'm trying to express myself to you, and you are listening to me and you are understanding me. That is verbal communication. I'm just trying to express some of my ideas and thoughts and feelings to you, and you are just reciprocating to what I am doing. So this is called verbal communication. Now, again, we have verbal, we have oral, and we have written communication. So oral is what I'm doing right now. Written is what we write. Now let me go back to this page and find out a little more. If I can see there are many chats. Let me just check the chats. Vocal, soliloquy. Yeah, people know about soliloquy also. Such intelligent batch, must say. You guys are amazing. Okay. There are so many people who have written yes, 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 yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm just going through the messages if I've missed out on something important. I'm Rahul from Pathankot. That's fantastic. Good to meet you, Rahul, Tanisha, Amisha, Sahil. There are so many people. Namrata Shetty, Sapna, Shubham, Karina, Sabyasachi, Siddharth, Chan, and Anushka Gupta. And we have Sanjay Neolia. There are so many names. I'll read out all your messages and your names, and we'll speak to each one of you, individually. Acha, Jayendra Pratap Singh has asked me to speak a little Hindi. Well, I'm not very sure, Bacha, if I'm allowed to speak in Hindi in this session, but I'll try to manage with both. Let me seek a little permission from Arpit sir. Arpit sir, can I speak a few sentences in Hindi for the students to understand better?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. No, it's no big issue. You can communicate in both languages.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। जी जरूर, हम आपकी बात जितना मेरे से हो सकता है मैं प्रयास करूंगा कि आपको समझ में आए, और हम दोनों लैंग्वेजेस में इसको कंटिन्यू करते हैं, बिकॉज आफ्टर ऑल अगेन ये भी एक बैरियर नहीं होना चाहिए, लैंग्वेज एक बैरियर नहीं होना चाहिए। जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो आप समझ में आना बहुत जरूरी है। But at the same time, what I'm concerned about is I know there are many people who are from the southern part of the country. Sometimes they are not so good in Hindi, they communicate mostly in English. So I will have to keep a balance. I can totally understand. चलो, आप लोगों ने मेरा काम थोड़ा सा और मुश्किल कर दिया, ताकि मुझे दोनों लैंग्वेजेस में रिपीट करके बोलना पड़ेगा। चलो, no worries, I'll do that. I'm good with both. Okay, our focus will be diverted. Yes. Soliloquy. Can you use some Hindi language? Chandraveer Singh. Okay, bacha, I'm from South Jersey. I told you. So there is always this contradiction that happens, and this makes it a little difficult for the person who delivers. But I'll try to, keep a balance between both, so that our Chandra Bhanu and other people are not, kind of, they feel left out along with that Bhanu, and people alike can also enjoy the session. So we'll have to get it done in both the languages. I have understood. Okay. Uh, yes, Farid Alam said that we are with both languages. Yes, we are with both languages. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bacha. Okay, now let's move on. Let me close the chat box. Okay, let's move on and find out more. What happened? Just a second. This laptop screen gets freezes at times, so I get a little confused. Okay. Yeah. Oral communication. So this is, I'll put this on this side so that, it becomes easier. So oral communication is what? Spoken words are used. It includes face-to-face conversations, speech, telephonic conversation, video, radio, television, voiceover, internet. All of this is used in case of spoken and oral communication. And in oral communication, communication is highly influenced by pitch, volume, speed, and clarity of speaking. So this is paraverbal, and this is very important. When you the pace in which you say, how fast or how slow it is, that is important. Your clarity of words is important, your volume is important, your throw of the language is important. So all of this plays a major role in case of oral communication, which can never be minimized. Okay. Next, listening skills. Then we have responsiveness. Here we have being clear and concise, very clear about what you are saying. Honesty, using humor where the other people feels connected and always stay connected with you. So that is always good. And being polite. There is no substitute of being polite. As long as you continue being polite in life, people will listen to you. They will enjoy what you are saying. And asking questions, again, coming back to feedback. Asking questions means you are involved into that process and you are asking more and more questions to it. So now we are moving on to slide number 18. Now, engaging speaking skills would include first prepare your notes, then toss them. Match in mood, energy level, language, and body language of an interviewer. This is more in terms of interview, but even in case of normal communication, we always do that. So you have a mixed bag in your head. You have so much to say to the other person, but based on the mood of the listener, you decide which one would be appropriate to speak right now and which one you should skip for the time being. So this is really important. Practice flexible listening, that you are listening to something, you are reciprocating, you are again being a passionate and good listener, you are trying to understand and decode what the sender is sending you, and then cultivate curiosity. If the other person is saying this, what could be the reason behind him or her saying that? This, this particular curiosity is very important. ये हम सब में होना चाहिए, जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं जिज्ञासा. तो ये थोड़ा सा आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि सामने वाला जो बता रहा है वो क्यों बता रहा है, उसके पीछे उनका क्या वजह हो सकता है जिसके लिए वो ये चीजें हमें बता रहा है. तो ऑफ कोर्स जब भी हम कुछ भी चीज सुनते हैं, हमें इस चीज का ध्यान रखना जरूरी होता है कि सामने वाला, इफ he or she is saying me something, तो वो क्यों बोल रहा है, उसके पीछे वजह क्या है. एंड प्रैक्टिस ईगो सस्पेंशन. अगर हम लोग अपनी ईगो को लेके हमेशा चलते रहेंगे तो बात नहीं बन पाएगी. हमें अपनी ईगो से आगे बढ़ के भी सोचना है. वी ऑल नीड टू थिंक बियॉन्ड आवर ईगो, एंड समटाइम्स वी नीड टू पुट आवरसेल्व्स इनटू द पोजीशन ऑफ द अदर पर्सन एंड फाइंड आउट इफ somebody is saying something, what could be the possible reason behind saying that. There has to be a reason, right? So that needs to be found out. Now, this is a very funny picture. See, everybody is tied to their brains. They're like trying to figure out what is happening. And this person is saying something, and look at the expression of this person. I'm not understanding anything, man. What the fish? So this is that example. Now, types of communication barriers. Now, this is very, very important. We all need to understand that it's important to have effective communication, but at times effective communication doesn't happen. Why? There has to be some reason behind it. Let us find that out, why effective communication cannot happen. And those situations are called barriers to communication. Now, these are the barriers which can create an immense wall between the sender and the receiver. So we need to understand and break that wall, then only two people can communicate. Now, what could be those possible problems? Let us find that out. There could be physical communication barriers. Like, for example, you are far from me, right? You are like standing on the other side of the road and I'm standing on this side of the road and I'm trying to speak something to you where you are not able to hear. And there is so much of noise, car, people shouting, bus, and then, ferry wala, vendors, everybody shouting. So the other person cannot hear what you are trying to say. So this could be a physical communication barrier. And then there could be emotional communication barriers. For example, this happens to all of us. I'm sure this happens to you also. We don't have same kind of days every morning, right? Sometimes we have a good day, sometimes we have a bad day. So if it is a bad day and we are not in the best of our mood and we are not feeling good, and then still you are attending a class, then the teacher is saying something very important, but your mind is somewhere else. You are still trying to figure out what could be done to your personal problem. So this is an emotional communication barrier where you are not being able to connect with the other person just because your mind is not present right at that moment. You are thinking of something else. And then there is language communication barrier, which we have just seen in this group. Some people saying Hindi, some people saying English. तो ये तो चलता रहता है. तो लैंग्वेज बैरियर तो समझ में आ ही जाता है, बिकॉज ये हमारे साथ अक्सर अक्सर होता रहता है. कुछ बच्चे हैं जो साउथ इंडिया के हैं, हमारे कॉलेज से हैं, उनको बिल्कुल भी हिंदी समझ में नहीं आती, whereas the northern part of the country, they always prefer the classes to be in Hindi. So we are like kind of used to it. हमें पता है कि हमें एक सेंटेंस को 2 बार रिपीट करना है और हमें दोनों बच्चों को केटर करना है। तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एक चीज है और हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है और हमें इसको बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा। This is how we all are trained, so that everybody in this room, in this classroom, in this session, they all get equal knowledge. That's our top priority. उसके बाद देखते हैं। Now see, इमोशनल बैरियर्स के या फिर बैरियर्स के क्या क्या क्लासिफिकेशन हो सकते हैं, क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट ग्रुप और सब टाइप्स हो सकते हैं। सबसे पहले यहां से शुरू करते हैं। जेंडर बैरियर मींस लाइक something that is a very male talk cannot be discussed with a female person, cannot be discussed with a female, again with a female talk cannot be discussed with a man. So this can happen, this man woman thing can happen. So gender can become a barrier. It can be a physical barrier that I just explained, that you two people are standing in two different parts of the classroom and you are trying to communicate and shout at each other, but somehow you are not able to hear what the other person is saying. Then there could be organizational. Now this is important. Why important? Because all of you need to understand the importance of organizational barrier. See, not all organizations give you full access to speak anything and everything at all the platforms. There are certain organizations jahan pe diagonal, vertical, horizontal communication बहुत आसान है, because वहां पे चैनल लेवल का कोई इंसान बड़े मैनेजमेंट के किसी इंसान से बात करना चाहता है तो बड़े आसानी से कर लेता है, क्योंकि उनका चैनल्स वैसे बना हुआ है। एट द सेम टाइम कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ऐसे भी है जहां पे ऊपर नीचे का डिस्टिंक्शन इतना ज्यादा है कि नीचे लेवल के लोग ऊपर लेवल तक बात को पहुंचाने में उनको बहुत मुशक्कत करनी पड़ती है। एज अ रिजल्ट आपको लगता है कि नहीं यार, इतना सब कुछ करके मैं वहां तक बात नहीं पहुंचा सकता, एंड यू गिव अप, यू से कि चलो ठीक है, रहने देते हैं। So let me repeat this once again in English. So in certain organizations, what happened, the communication channels are made in a way that people from lower level can speak to the upper level management and can speak to anyone within the organization very easily, because the channels are made that way. But in certain other rigid organizations, levels are not made that way. So if you feel like passing on to your information to somebody in the higher hierarchy in the organization, you will have to go through a lot of phases, and as a result you lose your interest, saying that, oh my god, to reach out to him I need to go through so many levels, let me not speak to them. So this can be a barrier. So if the organization is not granting you all the freedom to speak to anyone, or the liberty to speak to anyone at any point of time, anywhere, then it becomes a problem. So organizational barrier could also be a great reason why communication doesn't happen properly. Then there could be personal reason. I don't think I need to explain this anyway, because we all have our personal reasons for doing something or for not doing something. So if I'm not speaking to someone, maybe I don't feel like speaking to that person, as simple as that. Then there could be ambiguity of words or phrases. This happens with a lot of students. They say that, sir, I want to say so much, there is so much that I want to express, but somehow my vocabulary always lacks and I don't get the right words to express. As a result, at times when I expected to speak, I don't speak anything. ऐसे कई बच्चों के साथ होता है कि उनको या तो इंग्लिश की नॉलेज इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, या फिर उनको वोकैबुलरी इतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है, तो उनका क्या होता है कि वो बोलना चाहते हैं और शायद वो बोलना स्टार्ट करें तो वो अच्छा बोलेंगे भी, लेकिन उनको कहीं ना कहीं एक डर होता है दिल में कि मैं अगर कुछ उल्टा सीधा बोल दिया तो सामने वाला मेरी बात सुन के हंसेगा, या फिर पीपल विल मेक फन ऑफ मी। तो इसी डर से ना वो बोलना ही बंद कर देता है। वो बोलता है चलो छोड़ो, रहने दो, मुझे क्या बोलना, जिसको बोलना है वो बोल लेगा, मुझे तो ठीक से इंग्लिश आती नहीं है। तो ये एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम है जो मैं बच्चों के अंदर हमेशा देखता हूँ, इतने सालों के एक्सपीरियंस से देखता आ रहा हूँ। तो इस चीज से बाहर आना बेटा बहुत जरूरी है बच्चे। because at the end कि चलो ठीक है, nobody is there to judge you, कोई यहाँ पे आपको जजमेंट करने के लिए बैठा नहीं है, आपको जो सही लगता है वो सही जगह पे सही बात आप बताओ, सामने वाला समझा नहीं समझा वो उसके इंटेलिजेंस पे छोड़ दो, लेकिन कम से कम आप एक्सप्रेस करना तो बंद मत करो. At least you don't stop expressing. If the other person is not ready to take it, it's okay, that's their wish. So you cannot compromise on what you can say and how you can say. Let's let the other person decide what he or she is going to do with that. Individual linguistic ability, again we come back to English and Hindi. There are challenges with languages. Everybody is not good with Hindi, everybody is not good with English. That keeps happening all the time. Then there could be psychological problems. Maybe I'm not in the right mental state to take this session today. If that happens, then whatever I say would not make much of a difference in you, because I am not connected with myself. How can I expect the audience to get connected with me? मुझे खुद को नहीं पता मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, मैं कभी ये बोल रहा हूँ कभी वो बोल रहा हूँ, मैं खुद इतना कंफ्यूज्ड हूँ, तो ऑब्वियसली ऑडियंस तो और ज्यादा कंफ्यूज होगा. उनको तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा कि कभी ये कुछ बोल रहा है कभी कुछ और बोल रहा है, और ये खुद अपनी बातों को कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रहा है, अभी बोल रहा है ये, दूसरे पल बोल रहा है वो. ऐसे नहीं होता. So if you have a psychological barrier, if you're not in the right state of mind, take a break. It's very important. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको हर वक्त हर टाइम पे बोलते रहना है, नहीं. आप अपना सही मौका ढूंढो, आप अपना सही सिचुएशन ढूंढो, सही इंसान ढूंढो और सही वर्ड का इस्तेमाल करो, बस. The magic is done. The other person is impressed आपकी बातें सुन के. Then there is, just a second, I again need to move this. मैं यही कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा, बाईपासिंग ऑफ मैसेजेस, दिस आल्सो हैपेंस इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. यहाँ पे बहुत बाईपास होता है. लाइक आपने कुछ बोला, किसी और को कन्वे करने के लिए बोला, अब जो सेकंड पर्सन है उसने आपका आधा अधूरा इंफॉर्मेशन वहां तक पहुंचाया, जबकि आपकी पूरी बात इन्होंने बताई नहीं. ये आप लोगों के पर्सनल लाइफ में भी होता होगा विथ योर फ्रेंड्स. आई एम श्योर सिचुएशंस लाइक दिस हैपन ऑल द टाइम, when you expect one of your friends to speak something to another friend, and this person passes on a half information which is not even complete, which is not even valid. So the other person who is receiving the information is useless because the other person cannot make any good use of it. So this can happen. Then there could be cultural differences. Like in LPU is the biggest example. We have people from across the world, from different nationalities. So of course they have different cultures. So what is good in India, हम सबको इंडिया में पता है, like चाहे नॉर्थ हो या साउथ हो, हमारी बेसिक एथिक्स तो सेम है, हमारी बेसिक कल्चर सेम है, हमारे ट्रेडिशंस और रिचुअल्स अलग हो सकते हैं, बट बेसिक हमारी ट्रेडिशन, हमारा जो है एथिक्स, वो तो सेम है. बट विदेशों में ये चीज बिल्कुल अलग हो सकती है, अलग देश में अलग लोगों का सोच. तो कभी कभी एक दूसरे के साथ कल्चरली हम बॉन्ड नहीं कर पाते, बिकॉज उन चीजों को हम एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाते. तो हमें थोड़ा सा और खुले दिमाग का होना जरूरी है कि जिसका जो कल्चर है, ऑल रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट, मुझे उसको वो वैसे ही पसंद है, और मुझे अपनी कल्चर प्यारी है, उनको अपना कल्चर प्यारा है, तो उनको रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं. जब आप रिस्पेक्ट दोगे तभी आपको रिस्पेक्ट मिलेगा. वंस यू स्टार्ट रेस्पेक्टिंग पीपल, people will actually start reciprocating to you, and they would respect you in turn. So this is very, very important. Now then, there is fear of being criticized. This I have discussed before. Like, most of the times my students, some of them, they don't speak just because they feel that others would make fun of them, they would be criticized, people would laugh at them, so it's better not to speak. Why? If somebody is not accepting your facts, that means it is that person's a lack of emotional intelligence that they cannot accept what you are saying. It's not your problem, it's their problem. Let them face. You speak. Very important. Speak your heart out, speak your mind out, because we all are there to speak and express. So let us do that in whatever language we are comfortable in. Let us speak. So okay, again I need to check the chat box. I can see again 23 messages. What means of criticized, meaning of meaning of criticism means beta किसी का मजाक बनाना, किसी बच्ची, not only मजाक, actually किसी के चीज को तिरस्कार करना. अरे तुमने ये ठीक नहीं किया, तुमने वो ऐसे कैसे कर लिया, तुम्हें तो कोई दूसरा तरीका चाहिए था करना. मतलब when somebody doesn't appreciate and acknowledge your work and they rather always try to take out negativities out of your work, that is called criticism, right? So ये हुआ. अब एक बार नजर मार लेते हैं जितने भी messages हैं उन पे. If I have missed out on something, can you say some Hindi language? ये तो हो गया. We are both with thank you, sir. Okay. Now next is good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on board. Oh, there are so many good afternoons and yeses. I really hope I'm not okay, right? I hope I have not missed out on something. It's clear. Okay. Fine. And I think it's more or less clear. I have checked it. There is nothing that I have missed out on, something important. Now, this is respect, sir. I agree and appreciate always. There is a psychology that we always try to make everything perfect, but there is no need for perfection. Good thinking is needed until communication. Okay, yeah, fantastic. That's why feedback is necessary. Yes, yes, yes. Can you tell more about linguistic ability? It is just that how comfortable you are with certain languages. That's called linguistic ability. If you speak Hindi, if you speak English, if you speak Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Marathi, Gujarati, whatever language you speak, your ability to speak that language. That's called linguistic ability. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, that's it. I think now again, I'm closing the chat box because we need to get back to the PPT. Okay, let's move on. Hurry. Whenever I close the chat box, after that 2-3 minutes, my computer takes to take a breath. My computer, my laptop keeps getting heart attacks. Beach mein. It freezes. So again, I have to check. After closing the chat box, it's always freezing for 2-3 minutes. So I'm like, okay, chalo, let's wait. So I hope so far, whatever I have discussed, it is very clear with all of you. And there is no doubt, no confusion as of now with all of you mostly. If there is some major challenge, a major issue, please seek permission from Arpit sir. And if it is a long question, please seek permission from Arpit sir and ask him to grant you the permission to speak. Because if it is a long chat, it really becomes a little difficult for me to actually go through the entire chat and reciprocate to you. Rather, you can take up the microphone and speak it out. Okay, now what are we waiting for? We are waiting for this thing to come back to life. Okay. Well, I don't know if this thing, types of communication we were doing and we need to go back. Yes. So, yeah, here we are. Written communication, again, written signs and symbols are used to communicate, is what we are talking about. Written communication. A written message may be printed or handwritten. In written communication, messages can be transmitted via email, letter, report, memorandum, etc. Messages in written communication is again influenced by the vocabulary and grammar used, writing style, precision, and clarity of the language used. So if you are using written communication, all of these factors that you need to keep in mind, that your language, your style of writing, your vocabulary, your grammar, all of this somebody is going to always keep a track of. Now, moving on to my favorite nonverbal communication. Now, this is what I was explaining, is that when you don't speak something from your mouth, but the other person understands what you're trying to speak, is called nonverbal communication. This is so important. As I was saying, you can lie from your mouth, from the words that you speak, but you can never lie from your face. Your face always speaks the truth. So these are the different signs and symbols that we use while speaking that makes it more easier for the other person to understand what we are trying to elaborate. Next, how? Types of non-verbal communication, or rather I wouldn't call it type, rather I would prefer calling them tools of non-verbal communication. These are the weapons, these are the tools that we use to express our non-verbal communication. So these are the tools, these are the weapons. And what are they are facial expressions. सबसे पहला चीज मैंने यही बोला कि आपका facial expressions बड़ा important होता है. I think there's a lot of light coming on my face. There is this sun directly on my face. So just allow me a moment. Let me put the curtains on because there's a lot of light here, which I don't think is a good idea. I guess this is better. Yeah, I've just put the curtains because there is a lot of sunlight on my face directly and I cannot see the screen itself. Okay, so facial expressions are very important if you are trying to speak out something to somebody, if you're trying to express. Of course, the other person keeps a track of what you are trying to say and how you are expressing. So of course, everything comes out on your face and this is the reflection. Then there is head movement. If you say yes, if you say no, all of this are done without using a word and the other person will understand your answer. So that is the head movement. Then there is eye gaze. When you look at someone like this and say, so that actually talks a lot. Eye gaze, it can be angry, it can be shy, it can be looking down, it can have different expressions just to make your things very clear what you are trying to express. Then there could be gestures, what I'm doing right now. I'm using my hands, and when you use your hands a little bit, not extensively, it becomes easier for the other person to understand a complicated message. Using your arms in the right way can or can ease a message, which is a very complex one. Let me give you an example. I always believe in giving examples to express things. So example, you said ki sir, do you know where that beautiful temple is? For example, you and I are in a city and you are new to this place and you are asking me for directions. You are asking me for particularly a temple. And then I said, okay, you go straight, then take a right turn, then take a left turn, then again go straight, then take a right turn, then again take a left turn, then again go straight, then take a U-turn, you will get the temple. And your expressions would be like, okay, thank you, I'll ask someone else. So because you have not understood anything, this is exactly what happens. I mean, this is not how you actually give away directions. Now imagine you using your hands and making it easier. I'll speak the same message but in a much better way. Two things you need to notice: the speed and the arm movements. You say, okay, you want to go to the temple, right? You go straight, then take a right, then take a left. Again, go a little straight, take a right, then take a left. Again, go a little straight, then take a U-turn, and you will get the temple. And you are like, oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. You have understood. The message remained the same. There is nothing that I have changed about the instructions. It is just that I have used my hands by showing this and this. This is unconsciously making the message more easier in your head, sorry, in your brain to understand. So when you use your arms a little bit while talking, then it becomes very easy for the audience to understand what exactly you are trying to say. But again, A word of caution is that if you use your hands too much while talking, then the other person gets distracted and they keep on looking at your hands only. After 2-3 minutes, na, they will not listen to what you are saying. They will rather keep a track of your hands. So don't overuse anything. Don't overdo anything. Just use it whenever it is required and don't use it whenever it is not required. Else it will become a big zero. You know, the message delivered is zero because there is no meaning that has come out of it. So use that. And postures would actually mean from your top to your toe. You know, the whole body, the way you are sitting, the way you are standing. You know, we always say, like when there is a faculty member passing by, you are in campus or maybe in your office, you are working. You have a senior standing. Of course, you won't be putting your hands inside your pocket and stand like this and say, okay, hi, how are you? I mean, that's so rude of you to do that. I mean, that's a wrong posture. Now, when you consider the entire body from your top to your toe, everything is considered. That is called a posture. How you are sitting, how you are greeting someone, what are the kind of hand movements that you are doing, what is the kind of lean you are doing. If you are sitting like this in a slouch position or you are sitting like this. So whatever you do, all of this would come under your postures. And then there could be personal appearance adornment. For example, you have kind of using a great fragrance, a great nice perfume. So that can be an adornment. तो वो लोगों को ज्यादा थोड़ा सा ज्यादा kind of attract करेगा towards you because they would be like, wow, this person smells good too. तो ये एक बहुत important चीज होता है. Now moving on, smile, very important. चाहे आप इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में हो, चाहे आप लाइफ में किसी क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन में हो, a small smile can win a million hearts. तो अगर आप थोड़ा सा स्माइल करते हैं, उससे बहुत सारा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीज आसान हो जाता है. So start smiling. There is no tax on smiling, so please smile. Then uncross your arms. आप ऐसे खड़े हो किसी के सामने. Oh come on, how rude is that? I mean, if no, हो सकता है कि सामने वाला आपके लेवल का नहीं है, आपसे छोटा है लेवल में. मैं एज की बात नहीं कर रहा, औधे में. बट स्टिल आप उनके सामने ऐसे कैसे खड़े हो सकते? मतलब आप उनको ये एहसास दिलाना चाहते हैं कि आप उनसे बड़े हैं? ऑफ कोर्स नो, राइट? हमारे लिए सारे लोग एक समान हैं. कोई थोड़ा सा ज्यादा पढ़ाई कर लिया उसलिए ज्यादा उनको पोजीशन मिल गया, किसी ने थोड़ी सी कम पढ़ाई की इसलिए उनको थोड़ा सा नीचे पोजीशन मिला. बट इससे कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होता, सच में नहीं बनता कोई डिफरेंस. वी ऑल आर वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स और हम सारे लोग इकट्ठा काम कर रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे हम अपनी फैमिली को ठीक से पाल सके, हम अपनी ख्वाहिश से अपने शौक को पूरा कर सके, एक अच्छी से मतलब ढंग का लाइफ जी सके. So we all are working our best. अब किसी की क्वालिफिकेशन ज्यादा है, किसी का थोड़ा कम है. That's okay. So you are not supposed to stand like this in front of anyone. That is a very, very rude way of sitting in a class or standing in a place where there are other people. Be careful with what you wear. As I always say, it's important to dress appropriately. Like for example, जैसे आज ये वेबिनार हो रहा है, ये एक सोशल प्लेटफॉर्म है, इसलिए मैं आज यहाँ पे टाई और शर्ट और ट्राउजर्स पहन के बैठा हूँ. अगर कोई कैजुअल मीटिंग होता तो ऑफ कोर्स मैं अपने टी शर्ट और जीन्स में बैठता. सो हम सबको ये समझना जरूरी है कि हम जहां पे जा रहे हैं, जो काम कर रहे हैं, वो हमारे लिए कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है और वो हमारे प्रोफेशनल लाइफ और पर्सनल लाइफ को अलग कर रहा है कि नहीं. Because people keep coming to college wearing in slippers, sandals पहन के आ जाते हैं बच्चे क्लासरूम में. I always say, बच्चा, you imagine if you have enrolled yourself in LPU. अगर आप कॉलेज आ रहे हो स्टूडेंट बन के, तो ये आपका फर्ज बनता है कि पहले दिन कॉलेज से लेके आखिरी दिन तक जो आप जॉब में करोगे उसका ट्रेनिंग आप लोगे. तो 4 साल, I mostly deal with computer science engineering students, तो I teach students who are of 4 years, जो 4 साल के लिए होते हैं कॉलेज में. तो मैं उनको ये बोलता हूँ कि ये 4 साल आपका ट्रेनिंग सेशन है. जो आप फ्यूचर में करोगे ना, उसका ट्रेनिंग आप अभी से लो. So if you are coming to college, come properly dressed. हाँ, मुझे हमेशा फॉर्मल्स 100% पहन के आना है ये भी जरूरी नहीं है. I say कि आपको जीन्स डालने का मन हो रहा है, टी शर्ट पहनने का मन हो रहा है, बिल्कुल पहनो. It's important to be stylish. बनो स्टाइलिश, लेकिन उसको भी तो ढंग से पहनो। एक अजीब सा जीन्स पहना है आपने, कलर कॉम्बिनेशन का कुछ आपने देखा नहीं, सोचा नहीं, पैर में स्लीपर्स, हवाई चप्पल पहन के आ गए, अरे व्हाट इज दिस? कम ऑन, इफ यू आर ड्रेस्ड इन कैजुअल्स, मेक श्योर दैट यू ड्रेस प्रॉपर्ली इन कैजुअल्स। यू शुड लुक गुड। इट्स सो इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि इंसान जब आपको पहली बार देखता है, कोई भी इंसान, वो सबसे पहला जजमेंट आपके कपड़ों के ऊपर ही करता है। ये हमारा ह्यूमन नेचर है, हम जजमेंट करेंगे ही करेंगे और कपड़ों पे ही करेंगे। उसके बाद आगे चल के हमें पता चलता है, अरे ये तो बहुत टैलेंट है इन पे, इनमें तो बहुत टैलेंट है, ये तो बहुत क्वालिफाइड है, तब अलग से रिस्पेक्ट आता है। बट एज ऑफ नाउ द फर्स्ट क्राइटेरिया फॉर जजिंग एनीबॉडी, एनी पर्सन इन दिस वर्ल्ड वुड बी हाउ ही और शी इज ड्रेस्ड. Based on that, we would show our interest to speak to this person more and find out more. अगर ड्रेस में ही गड़बड़ हो गया, शुरू में ही गड़बड़ हो गया, तो बात आगे बढ़ेगी नहीं ना. इट्स सो इंपॉर्टेंट टू ड्रेस इम्प्रेसिवली, कि आप जिस ओकेशन पे जा रहे हो उस हिसाब से आप तैयार होके जाओ. आप शादी वाले घर में गए हो, फटे पुराने कपड़े पहन के, आपकी रिलेटिव की शादी है, तो ऑब्वियसली ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आपने फटे पुराने कपड़े पहने तो आपको खाना नहीं मिलेगा. ऑफ कोर्स मिलेगा, जिनके घर में गए हो वो आपका रिलेटिव लगता है, तो खाना तो वो खिलाएंगे ही. बट at the same time, you yourself feel a little awkward, out of the place. You feel that, okay, I mean, come on, people are looking at me. Even if other people are not looking at you, आपको लगेगा लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं. Because आप खुद conscious हो ना, आपको पता है you are wrongly dressed. ऐसे कपड़े पहन के शादी में नहीं आना चाहिए जहां पे लोग अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े पहन के गए हैं. तो you feel a little left out. No, man, I should have, worn a little better. So this is what you feel. And when you lose confidence within yourself, people start losing. आपको खुद का confidence पहले start feeling good about you. This is so important. So start doing that. And be aware of your entrance and exit. चाहे आप किसी भी जगह पे जाओ, किसी भी फॉर्मल ओकेजन हो या इनफॉर्मल ओकेजन, आपकी एंट्री और आपकी एग्जिट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. People gauge you, people judge you on that, if you have had a great entry and a great exit, because that shows your gentleman attitude, कि आप किसी को ग्रीट करते हो. एंट्री का मतलब क्या होता है? ये फिल्म जैसा एंट्री तो नहीं होता, धमाकेदार गाड़ी में उड़ते हुए आओगे या हेलीकॉप्टर में उतरोगे, ऐसा तो नहीं होता. यहाँ पे एंट्री मींस हाउ यू आर ग्रीटिंग समवन. If you are being pleasant, अगर आपके चेहरे पे एक स्माइल है, एक कॉन्फिडेंस है, if you are saying hello to someone, shaking hands with someone, that's your entry. And how you exit is how you wish goodbye to everyone, how you say let's hope for the best and let's meet again. तो ये जो पॉजिटिव नोट पे आप छोड़ के जाते हो ना, दैट इज योर एग्जिट. तो ये चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, किसी भी कम्युनिकेशन में घुसना और उस कम्युनिकेशन से बाहर निकलना. तो ये हमें समझना पड़ेगा that every occasion is important to us. Now again I've got 34 messages. फिर से एक बार quickly check कर लेते हैं. बीच बीच में I need to keep doing this. I can understand all of you are reciprocating. Very interesting session, sir. Thank you so much. Guys, at least don't use That's nice. Yeah, that's so true. Don't use exactly, sir. Sir, your video is not visible. Is my video not visible, Arpit sir? Hello.
Visual sir.
कुछ बच्चों ने लिखा है कि my video is not visible. Maybe उनके साइड में कोई नेटवर्क इशू होगा इसलिए. Okay, now it's good. Maybe there could be some network issues. Okay. Thank you so much, Sapna. Now again, see, basically, I don't know, I can't even blame it on your network. It could be a fluctuation in my network also. Apologies for that. Ekdam se maafi. But you can understand, working from home, there could be network glitches. थोड़ा सा आप एडजस्ट कर लीजिए कृपया. ऑल ऑफ यू प्लीज बी विथ मी एंड थैंक यू सो मच. नहीं, हो सकता है बीच बीच में थोड़ा सा डिप हो. आई नो थोड़ा सा इरिटेटिंग लगता है अगर ऐसा हो, बट क्या ही कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू. No, absolutely, Shubham Shah. I totally, I'll come to your question. इसका एक डिटेल में आंसर I'll give you definitely. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आपके कम्युनिकेशन के अंदर included है. It's not only the postures and gestures. Of course, there are differently abled people. There are other sections of the society जिनका, जिनके कुछ limitations है. Of course, that is going to be there. What I'm trying to say is आपके पास ना बहुत सारे tools हैं. These all are tools. These all are weapons to you. So you have a smile, you have your facial expressions, you have your gestures, postures. ये सारी चीजें, ये सारा आपका weapon है. अब मानो कि मुझे कोई problem है with my arms. For example, I'm taking my own example. My arms don't move. ठीक है, मुझे अपने हाथ में कोई प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा हाथ ठीक से काम नहीं करता, तो मैं उसको ज्यादा यूज में नहीं ले सकता. तो इसका मतलब मैं जो भी कम्युनिकेट करूंगा वो इनकम्प्लीट रहेगा? बिल्कुल नहीं बच्चा, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. बिकॉज मेरे पास कई सारे साधन है ना, कई सारा टूल्स है. मेरी स्माइल है, मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस है, मेरी एक्सप्रेशंस है, मेरी गले का पिच, वॉल्यूम, क्लैरिटी, ये सारी चीजें हैं. हाथ को काम में नहीं ले सकते तो क्या हुआ, बाकी चीजें तो काम में ले सकते हैं. So even if you cannot use one particular weapon, there are many other weapons that God has given all of us. So let us use them while talking. The whole idea is to be able to communicate something very well so that the other person understands and he or she reciprocates. Feedback, remember? Bus. That's all. तो ये सारा अलग अलग वेपन्स है आपके पास. इसमें से जो आपको ठीक लगे आप इस्तेमाल करो, जो आपको ठीक नहीं लगे उसका इस्तेमाल मत करो. As simple as that. ठीक है, चल let's move on. Oh, that's okay. No problem. I am an extrovert, but at the same time, I have a lot of love and respect for introvert people. It's okay to be introvert. Introvert people, there are certain, situations where they want to speak, really, they want to speak out. But again, they have a lot of inhibitions. I can totally understand your situation. कि आप क्या महसूस करते होंगे. आपको कभी कभी कोई ऐसा मौका तो लगता होगा जब आपको लगेगा कि मुझे बोलना चाहिए, लेकिन फिर अगेन आपके दिमाग में वो इनहिबिशंस आएंगे. नहीं, मैं तो नहीं बोलता हूँ हमेशा, आज बोलूंगा तो शायद ठीक नहीं लगेगा. ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें आती है दिमाग में. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल दिस सेशन, you spoke yourself. और फरीद, ये पहली बार नहीं है जो आप चैट बॉक्स में लिख रहे हैं, आपने पहले भी लिखा है, तो मैंने आपका नाम देखा है. I remember you said कि I'm good with both the languages. See, I remember. So, मतलब आप 2-3 बार आपने communicate, 2-3-4 बार आपने communicate किया. That means you are just not an introvert. You are closing yourself for the people who deserve you. ठीक है, आप उन लोगों के लिए अपने आप को रिजर्व करके रखना चाहते हैं जो आपको डिजर्व करते हैं. सबके सामने खुल के बोलने का क्या फायदा, लेकिन जहां पे जरूरत पड़ेगी वहां पे आप बोलोगे, जैसे आज आप बोल रहे हैं. सो दिस इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, इन फैक्ट दिस इज अ स्ट्रेंथ. you know exactly किसके सामने कब क्या बोलना है. तो दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सो डोंट थिंक कि मैं इंट्रोवर्ट हूं, मैं एक्सट्रोवर्ट हूं. कोई कुछ नहीं होता. हम सबको इतनी इंटेलिजेंस ऊपर वाले ने दिया है, और हमारी इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस इतना कहता है कि हमें इतना पता है, हम इतने स्मार्ट तो है कि हमें कब किस जगह पे कितनी बात करनी चाहिए. So that's okay. It's good to be an introvert. I love introvertish people. So chill. Now moving on, let me close the chat box. बहुत ज्यादा chatting हो जाएगा, फिर हमारा main चीज रह जाएगा. I'm closing the chat box for now. Again, we'll get back to this. Okay. Now the next. See, facial expressions के बारे में मैंने पहले भी आप लोगों से कहा था. This is once again that we are talking about it. Facial expressions. How important it is. If you see all the faces here, see, this one is grumpy, this one is surprised, this one is disgusted, this one is again shocked, this one is happy, and this one is sad. There are so many expressions that we use all the time, and unconsciously we use them और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है कि जब आप बात करते हो और चाहते हो कि सामने वाला आपकी बात सुने, तो सही वर्ड्स के साथ सही फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस का होना बहुत जरूरी है। तब जाके आपका जो मैसेज है वो 100% कंप्लीट होता है, वरना वो कहीं ना कहीं लैग कर जाएगा। Next, see the importance of your head. So when you do this, नहीं मुझे नहीं जाना, हाँ मुझे खाना खाना है. So this is how your head plays a major role. So if you are agreeing or you are disagreeing to something, that is always important. Sideways movement, up and down movement, ये हम सबको पता है. Now again coming back to eye gaze, जो मैंने पहले ही बोला था, see how scary these eyes look. This is like a little curious eyes. This one is like, huh, ye kya chal raha hai? And this one is like, oh God, no, not again. And this one is like, sad, I'm crying. See, hame all of these faces that I have put in, I have not put the whole face, I've just put the eyes. But with the eyes, we all can make out what kind of expression they're making. So we know what is this, 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 we know what is this. So eyes play a very major role. So use your eyes, use your sense organs, make your expressions clear to the other person what you actually mean to say. That would make your communication 100% complete. Now moving on to the next, gestures and postures. As I've already discussed, a little quick more discussion on that. See, this is like not working. This is like perfect. This is like shh. This is like stop. So all of these gestures and postures, we use them to express something that we want to say, where we are not using any word, but we are just using those, expressions or gestures to tell other person what we actually want to mean. Now moving on, next we have here types of non-verbal. ये बहुत important slide है. I would want all of you to pay very close attention to this to understand. यहाँ पे कई सारी words के बारे में बताया गया है. For example, haptics, proxemics, silence, sign and paralanguage or vocalic. So I'll explain all of them one by one. आप चाहो तो इस पेज का जो आपके लैपटॉप के अंदर है, इस पेज का आप एक स्क्रीनशॉट लेके रख सकते हो फॉर योर फ्यूचर रेफरेंस, ताकि ये क्या है आप सबको बहुत क्लियरली याद रहेगा कि इसको क्या बोलते हैं. योर इंटरनेट कनेक्शन इज अनस्टेबल. मुझे ये नोटिफिकेशन आया है. एम आई क्लियरली ऑडिबल एंड विजिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू? ओके. दैट मीन्स कुछ ऐसे ही बोल रहा है, मुझे डरा रहा है बेकार में. मैं वैसे ही डर जाता हूँ टेक्नोलॉजी से. एनीवे ओके, चलो आप लोगों को सुनाई दे रहा है? आई एम हैप्पी. नाउ लेट अस एक्सप्लेन हैप्टिक्स, प्रॉक्सिमिक्स, ये सब है क्या. हैप्टिक्स, जिसके पास में लिखा हुआ है टच लैंग्वेज. तो ये टच लैंग्वेज क्या होता है, पहले हम टच लैंग्वेज के बारे में पढ़ लेते हैं, विच इज स्लाइड नंबर 32. फिर उसके बाद हम स्लाइड नंबर 31 में आएंगे. पहले हैप्टिक्स पढ़ लेते हैं. सी, दिस इज टच लैंग्वेज. When you convey a very strong message to someone without speaking a single word, just by touching the other person, it is called a touch language. For example, आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. You have done something good. आपके कॉलेज में या आपके ऑफिस में, और आपका बॉस या आपकी फैकल्टी मेंबर आके आपको गुड जॉब बोलते भी नहीं है, बस ऐसे पैट करके निकल जाते हैं. What does that mean? That this person is praising you for what great things you have done. This is touch language. जब आप किसी को समझाने के लिए, कोई एक पर्टिकुलर मैसेज को सेंड करने के लिए जब उनको टच करते हैं with some emotion in it, then that is called touch language. For example, oh no. Again, see the second picture. As you can see, this person is touching, And here also you can see there's a lot of love and kindness. There's a lot of care and adoration between this elderly couple. Then there is high five. That means you are happy. Then there is all of these touch languages we use to express what we actually feel at that moment. So this is called haptics. Now proxemics पहले कर लेते हैं, फिर उसके बाद I'll come back to 31. This is space language. Now this is also very important for all of us to understand that when we are in a professional environment, space play a very, very important role. You know, space plays a very important role. Why? Because in a professional environment, you are expected to maintain a proper gap between yourself and the other person. So, for example, you want to whisper something into the ears of someone, and you are very close to that person, almost standing next to that person, and whispering something into the ear. That means you are making it an intimate space between the two. That means two of you are very close and next to each other and whispering into the ears. Now the gap between the two of you would be less than 1 feet. So that's called intimate. When you're very close and you are whispering, that is called the intimate. Now what is personal? That is when you and another person sitting at a gap of say approximately 2.5 feet, which is mostly seen in like you know professional environment, office में, school में जो होता है mostly, जब आप दो लोग बैठ के बात करते हैं तो दोनों के बीच में 2-2.5 feet का गैप होता है. So that is a personal you know discussion. जोर जोर से नहीं, but धीरे धीरे से, but audible. अगर कोई इतना पास आ गया तो उसको सुनाई भी दे देगा. So that's called personal. And when there is a gap of 10 feet and more, जब आप स्टेज पे खड़े होके बोल रहे हो and there is an audience in front of you and the gap is more than 10 feet, then that is called a public discussion, public communication happening, जहां पे स्पीकर और लिसनर के बीच में 10 फीट या उससे ज्यादा का गैप है. तो ये 3 तरह के आपके कम्युनिकेशन का स्पेस होता है in a working environment. Either it can be intimate, or it can be personal, or it can be public. Now moving on to the पहले वाला slide जो हमने skip कर दिया था, which is this one, that is called personal appearance. Now personal appearance is also very important. See, I was just stressing on the point कि when you come to your office or when you come to your college, you need or you are expected to dress up and look a certain way. So this is so important for all of us to remember that where we are standing and what we are doing. सारी चीजें हर जगह पे नहीं चलता, तो कुछ चीजों को अपने हिसाब से, अपने नॉलेज के और अपने आसपास के लोगों के हिसाब से हमें अपने आप को चेंज करना पड़ता है. सो फिजिकल अपीयरेंस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, और ये आपका पहला क्राइटेरिया होता है जजमेंट का. जब कोई आपको जज करता है तो इसी बेसिस पे सबसे पहले करता है. सो ऑलवेज मेक श्योर दैट यू आर वेल ड्रेस्ड ऑल द टाइम. चाहे आप कैजुअल्स पहनो, सनग्लासेस लगाओ, हेयर स्टाइलिंग करो, जेल लगाओ, स्पाइक्स बनाओ, कुछ भी करो, but do that in a very particular proper manner so that you can carry that off well. Because at the end of the day, if you are confident about yourself, other people will be confident on you. So appearance can indicate our profession. It shows our nature, interest, and your taste. It can also point out our religious and cultural values, because keeping your beard in a certain way or maybe wearing certain attire can talk about your religious values. Like right now we are in Punjab, so yahan pe agar if there is any sardar in this classroom, agar wo bahar hoga, ghar se bahar baith ke ye sun raha hai office mein ya kahin aur, तो he might be wearing a turban. अगर वो घर में बैठ के सुन रहा है फिर भी उनका सर खाली नहीं होगा, वो सर पे कुछ कपड़ा बांध के होंगे या फिर वो टोपी पहने होंगे, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ. So the kind of attire that you wear, that also talks about your religious belief, कि आप सिख religion से believe करते हैं, and you know this is people, you expect people to love and respect you for what you are, and we totally do that. You know, it is so important for all of us to have love and respect for every religion in this world. You know, कोई खराब नहीं है, कोई अच्छा नहीं है, सब हमारे जैसे हैं. All humans are made of, you know, flesh and blood. तो हमारे अंदर अच्छाई भी होती है, खराबी भी होती है, and you know, we all are testimony to that. So we always expect the other person to respect us for what we are, and that's our prime responsibility. जब आप respect दोगे, तभी आपको respect मिलेगा. So always remember, to be able to get love, you need to love first. First love, and then you will get a lot of love in return. Now, coming back, जो हम skip कर चुके थे, now will haptics बीच में हमारा हो गया, proxemics हो गया, और signs. Coming to signs. Now here we are talking about the different signs and symbols. हाथों का gesture भी हम लोग, you know, yo करते हैं. So that's also a sign and symbol. We say well done, we say not done. So all of these are signs and symbols that we use साइलेंस के लिए करना. तो और फिर हमारे ट्रैफिक सिग्नल पे बहुत सारे सिग्नल्स लगे होते हैं. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज आर एग्जांपल्स ऑफ साइंस एंड सिग्नल्स, एंड दे स्पीक अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज. जो कोई बिना बोले आप समझ जा रहे हो कि नो यू टर्न का साइन लगा है, मतलब यहां से आप गाड़ी यू टर्न नहीं ले सकते. सो इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज, but along with that there is nobody who is saying it. You looking at the sign and you understand कि okay, यहाँ से हम U-turn नहीं ले सकते. So this is all we need to understand, the importance of non-verbal communication. Now a very very interesting slide for me, I call it silence. You know, when you don't say something, you say so much. कुछ ना बोलना बहुत कुछ बोलने लायक होता है. And it is not only negative, it can be positive too. आप लोग जब इंटरव्यू देते हो, when you give an interview, when you are in an interview board giving answers to the interviewer, sometimes it happens, I don't know अगर आप में से किसी ने भी एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा इंटरव्यू देते टाइम, कि कभी कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि इंटरव्यू बोर्ड के अंदर एक कंप्लीट साइलेंस हो जाता है. वो सामने वाला इंटरव्यूअर आपसे कुछ नहीं पूछ रहा है, आप कोई जवाब नहीं दे रहे हो, 1-2 मिनट वो बड़ा ऑकवर्ड होता है साइलेंस, लेकिन होता है. नाउ यू थिंक कि व्हाई इज दिस पर्सन साइलेंट. इसका मतलब क्या ये है कि आपको रिजेक्ट कर देंगे? नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. इसका मतलब ये बिल्कुल नहीं है. इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि वो आपको लेके कोई मेजर डिसीजन लेने के बारे में सोच रहा है. मतलब आपको लेंगे तो कौन से डिपार्टमेंट में लेंगे, कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट आपके लिए बेस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट होगा, कौन कौन से प्रोफाइल में से आपसे काम करवाना उनके लिए सबसे आसान है, कौन कौन से प्रोफाइल में से काम करवाना उनके लिए चैलेंज है. ये सारी चीजें वो इंटरव्यूअर बैठ के उस पल पे सोच रहे होंगे. इसलिए there is some awkward silence happening. So silence is definitely not always negative. It can be immensely positive, but it is a very very strong non-verbal communication. Allowing silence in a conversation puts pressure on the other person. क्योंकि अगर आप बहुत लंबे टाइम तक पॉज ले लेते हो, तो अदर पर्सन के, सामने वाले पर्सन के दिमाग में एक प्रेशर बिल्ड होता है कि पता नहीं इसके आगे क्या आने वाला है. Silence can indicate hostility. Silence can indicate disagreement. ये दोनों नेगेटिव है. Hostility मतलब मुझे किसी चीज में कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, तुम कुछ भी बोलो, I don't care. That could be one reason. Another, I don't agree with you. It could be a sign of disagreement, that okay, no, I don't agree with you. I cannot say that on the face, so I prefer keeping silent. Then there could be indicate profoundness, such as horror. When you are very scared, then you are silent. Like imagine, if थोड़ा सा पीछे चले जाओ, जब आपके रिजल्ट्स डिक्लेयर हो रहे होंगे बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के, तब आपकी हालत क्या थी. Just remember, you know, memory down lane. तो आपके हाथ पैर ठंडे हो गए थे, कान गर्म हो गया था, और पता नहीं चल रहा था अगले मोमेंट बार बार पेज को रिफ्रेश कर रहे थे टू सी कि हाउ मच परसेंटेज यू हैव स्कोर्ड, एंड यू वर लेफ्ट साइलेंट. गले से आवाज नहीं निकल रही है, पेट के अंदर बटरफ्लाइज हो रहे हैं. तो I still can remember, you know, I have stopped like, you know, I have passed my schooling days some 15-17 years back, but abhi bhi, you know, I can recollect, मुझे अभी भी वो feeling याद है जो होता है हम सबके साथ. So silence can indicate respect. I'm not saying anything to you just because I respect you. अगर आपको मैं इज्जत नहीं करता तो मैं हो सकता है आपको बहुत कुछ बोल देता। ऐसा कई बार होता है, आप सामने वाले की बहुत इज्जत करते हो इसलिए उनके सामने आप कुछ नहीं बोलते हो। साइलेंस कैन इंडिकेट कॉन्टेम्पलेशन, कि आप कॉन्टेम्पलेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आगे क्या होने वाला है, what could be the next move you are trying to figure out. Silence can be an intentional rudeness, चलो मुझे जवाब नहीं देना, जो करना है कर लो, that could be intentional rudeness also. Silence can be the creation of a listening space, कि हम चुपचाप किसी और चीज पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं, कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर रहे हैं, वी आर ट्राइंग टू लिसन। सी, आप में से कोई भी अगर मेडिटेशन या योगा प्रैक्टिस करते होंगे तो उनको ये वाला सेंटेंस बड़े क्लियरली समझ में आता होगा। If you have ever meditated in life, then they would say, people who teach you yoga and meditate, they say that, just keep silent, don't say anything, hear what your heart and your brain says. So you are listening, you are enabling yourself to listen to what your heart is saying, what the entire universe is saying to you. So they get a feeling, they get a connect with the universe. That's like being, into the other level. So it can be listening, it can be like, to enable us to listen to what is happening around us. Silence can be an indication of empathy. If somebody is not feeling good, somebody is disappointed, somebody is broken, somebody is shattered, आप उनके साथ जाके बैठ के चुपचाप उनका एक बार ऐसे हाथ पकड़ो और उनके साथ चुपचाप बैठ जाओ। आपको उनको ये बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ हूं। ये हाथ पकड़ना, ये हैप्टिक्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज है। इस हैप्टिक्स से उनको पता चल जाएगा कि आप उनके साथ हो, और फिर हाथ पकड़ के चुपचाप बैठ जाओ and give yourself and that person some time. So this is the importance of silence. Now again, moving back to the chat box, I can see a lot of chats coming. Silence is key to connect with yourself. True that. Very true. Kindly check your network connectivity. Fail to keep up with the standard of living. The answer is the result. A good communication will remain the one that solves the error. Maintain everything in his mindset, which is not always necessary in this network. What's your answer on this webinar? Okay, that's like a long question. I'll get back to this question answer session in another 2 to 3 minutes. I think we are about to wrap up the session. So the last 10 minutes I would like to keep for the question answer round. So I'll come back to this question immediately. And then I would request Arpit sir to enable people to be able to speak so that I can hear you. ऐसे बार बार पढ़ के आंसर देना थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है. So let us quickly finish the detail the technicalities of it, और फिर हम लोग will move on. अच्छा, the next slide is my favorite. Ask me why. See, अच्छा, the way Amir Khan says in PK, अच्छा. So paraverbal is, the vocal quality that I was talking about, your tone, your pitch, your pause, your emphasis, your volume. So I didn't say you were stupid. I didn't say. So I'm putting stress on the word say. I didn't say you were stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. So now I'm putting stress on you. I didn't say you were stupid. Somebody else could be stupid as well. I didn't say you were stupid. I said you were good. See, so the way you put the emphasis, that that kind of changes the entire emotion of the sentence. तो आप कहां पे emphasis डाल रहे हो ये देखना बहुत जरूरी है। मैंने नहीं बोला मैं आ जाऊंगा, मैंने नहीं बोला मैं आ जाऊंगा, मैंने नहीं बोला मैं आ जाऊंगा, मैंने नहीं बोला मैं आ जाऊंगा. So you are just changing the space of it, लेकिन सारी मतलब उसका change हो जा रहा है, right? So this is the importance of paraverbal. And then there is almost the end of the slide, effective communication. To wrap up everything that we have learned so far, एक final highlight, एक final accumulation. तो इसमें क्या है, effective, if you want your communication to be effective, आपको कौन कौन सी चीजें याद रखना पड़ेगा? Just to give it a final highlight. Number one, gather your thoughts. सबसे पहले आराम से सोच लो क्या बोलना है. Choose your words and voice modulation. किस प्रकार से बोलना है और कौन कौन से शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करना है वो पहले सिलेक्ट कर लो। बॉडी लैंग्वेज अपना देख लो कि सही है गलत है उस सिचुएशन और इंसान के हिसाब से। लिसन टू व्हाट द अदर पर्सन इज सेइंग, कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, कभी ये कभी वो ऐसे मत करो। Make proper eye contact with the person while speaking. That shows you respect the other person. Your posture should be correct. आप सही तरह से खड़े हो या बैठे हो, एक ढंग से बात करो इंसान से, सिंपल और familiar लैंग्वेज में बात करो जो उनको समझने में बिल्कुल आसान हो, उनके लिए कोई रॉकेट साइंस ना हो जाए। एंड क्वेश्चनिंग स्किल्स, आप इंटेलिजेंट क्वेश्चंस करो ताकि सामने वाले को भी पता चले कि फीडबैक में आपको सब कुछ समझ में आ गया। नाउ प्लेटफॉर्म स्किल्स के अंदर होता है वॉइस एंड बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड देन कंट्रोलिंग नर्वसनेस। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर सम पब्लिक स्पीकिंग, आपको ये प्लेटफॉर्म स्किल्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी। सो यू नीड टू चेक ऑन योर वॉइस, यू नीड टू चेक ऑन योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू नीड टू कंट्रोल योर नर्वसनेस। वी ऑल आर नर्वस, आज भी मैं नर्वस था आप लोग के सेशन में आने से पहले। मैं पिछले 15 साल से इस डोमेन में हूं, आज तक मुझे किसी भी नए क्राउड के सामने बहुत डर लगता है और मुझे लगता है ये डर होना चाहिए। बिकॉज मेरे मेंटर थे, मेरे गाइड थे जब मैं स्टूडेंट था। वंस ही सेड बिफोर अ सेशन आई वाज वेरी एंग्शियस, तो ही सेड कि अविक रिमेंबर, जिस दिन तुम्हारे मन से ये डर हट जाएगा उस दिन तुम्हारा सेमिनार ठीक ठाक होगा, अच्छा नहीं होगा। तो जब तक तुम डरोगे तुम अपने आप को और ज्यादा प्रूफ करने के लिए अच्छा डेडिकेटेड होंगे और तब तक तुम्हारा सेमिनार अच्छा जाएगा। जिस दिन तुम ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाओगे ना, अरे इनके सामने क्या ही बात है, मैं तो मैनेज कर लूंगा, I'll somehow manage, no big deal for me, that day you will have a terrible webinar or a terrible seminar. You will have a terrible public speech because you are unable to make that connect with the audience. आप पहले से अपने आप को बहुत महान समझने लग गए। तो अगर आपको प्लेटफॉर्म स्किल्स चाहिए, always keep yourself grounded and down to earth so that you can connect with the audience. Next, आपके लिए बॉडी लैंग्वेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जिसके अंदर जेस्चर्स हैं, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस है, आई कांटेक्ट है, ये ऑलरेडी हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। देन देयर इज वॉइस जिसके अंदर वॉल्यूम है, पिच है और रेट ऑफ स्पीच है। आप कितने वर्ड्स बोलते हो इन अ मिनट। अकॉर्डिंग टू द सर्वे, एक नॉर्मल स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड वर्जन के हिसाब से एक इंसान इफेक्टिवली 1 मिनट में लगभग 100 से 120 वर्ड्स बोल सकता है। Now, one person in a minute can speak effectively 100 to 120 words in a minute. Now, why do we call it effectively? Which means जो सामने वाले को समझ में आए। अगर मैं बहुत फास्ट बोलूं तो उसमें आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा, वो नहीं होना चाहिए। स्पीड का कंट्रोल रख के, तो इफेक्टिवली का मतलब जो सामने वाले को समझ में आए। तो ऐसा हम लोग बोल सकते हैं 100 to 120 और सुन सकते हैं इफेक्टिवली अराउंड 150 to 180 वर्ड्स। इफेक्टिवली सुनने के लिए मतलब जो सुन के मैं समझ रहा हूं उसके लिए 150 to 180 अप्रोक्सीमेटली। अब इससे ज्यादा आपका स्पीड अगर है या बहुत कम है तो थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ है। ज्यादा स्पीड है तो ऑडियंस को समझ में नहीं आएगा, बहुत स्लो हो तो ऑडियंस बोर होके थोड़ी देर में they will start yawning. So of course you will have to keep a balance. It neither has to be extremely fast or it can't be slow. Then there is pitching of your voice, how high or low it is, and the rate of speech. The next is pauses, how you give break in between, how you stop, because आप एक important information दे रहे हैं और सामने वाले को ग्रास्प करने का मौका ही नहीं दे रहे हैं, उससे पहले you are coming up with something else. Then this person says, अभी क्या बोला आप, what did you say just now? I missed it. Oh come on, एक information समझ नहीं पा रहा हूं and the second information is already there, so you will be all lost. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप उनको थोड़ा सा पॉज दें, उनको समझने का मौका दें and then you come up with the next point. Then there is pronunciation. चाहे आप कोई भी लैंग्वेज बोलो, हिंदी, बांग्ला, इंग्लिश, तमिल, तेलुगु, उर्दू, मलयालम, फ्रेंच, स्पेनिश, इटालियन, कुछ भी बोलो, you need to have very clear pronunciation that makes it more appealing to the listener, उनको सुनने में अच्छा लगता है. And stop using filler words like अभी थोड़ी देर पहले somebody wrote in the text box, do not write too much of so these are called fillers. If you make it, fill it with a lot of fillers, it sounds not good, मजा नहीं आएगा सुनने में. तो अगर आपको सेंटेंस बनाना नहीं आ रहा है तो थोड़ा धीरे धीरे बोलो ना, सोच सोच के बोलो. Don't put all of that inside, right? So with this, I think we end the third last. Controlling nervousness is important. Your introduction, positive thinking, relaxing, visual aids, जो अभी हम कर रहे हैं, and participation. And the second last is nervousness is the result of a desire to do something in a certain way. जो आप नहीं कर पाने के लिए डर रहे हो, आपको कोई एक पर्टिकुलर तरीके से कोई काम करना है जो आप डर रहे हो कि शायद आपसे ना हो पाएगा. So that's called nervousness. इसके लिए आपको क्या करना चाहिए? आपको प्रिपरेशन लेनी चाहिए, आपको विजनिंग करना चाहिए, बैठ के थोड़ा ठंडे दिमाग से सोचो that when you speak this, how you are going to go for it. That visioning is going to help you a lot. And practice deep breathing. That really helps. If you're really anxious, if you are tensed, अगर आपके हाथ पैर ठंडे हो रहे, लंबी सांसें लो 5 बार और छोड़ो. Inhale, exhale. That helps. So with this, we end the session. Now, the most exciting part, that is this entire question answer round. Thank you so much. I'll close my screen sharing and we'll get back to this. Just a second. Yeah, I have stopped screen sharing. Hello, Ajay sir.
Hello,
Good
how are you,
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. It was really, really nice session, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
It was as I was expecting it from a seasoned professional like you.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
It's really humble of you, sir. So,
Thank you.
students, it has been a privilege for us to have Mr. Avik Chakraborty with us for today's session. Now, as I'm seeing it from the chat box also, a lot of, I would say, the good comments are there about Avik sir and how informative this session has been. So now we put a open house for all of you that if you want to ask any question, you can raise your hand so that we will be able to give you a right to open your mic and you can ask your questions. Please, you can raise your hands.
Thanks to each one of you for writing such lovely things for me. I'm so honored. This means a lot.
One more request I want to make to all of the students that please fill up feedback form. It will be really intriguing for us also and Avik sir also. That,
Yes.
How it had been the session. Yes, Fareed, we will be providing you more sessions from Avik sir. Sir, there is a huge demand for you, Avik sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, any student having any question, you can please raise your hand.
Sapna and Sumit Paul has raised hands.
Okay. Rohit sir.
Suman, Sapna, please unmute yourself. Basant, please unmute.
You people, Suman, Sapna and Basant, you have been given rights. You can open the mic. Yeah, Sapna. No, we have given the rights. Nobody has opened the mic.
Hello.
Yeah, Basant.
Yeah, good evening, sir, and good evening to Avik sir and all my respected friends, those who are in the session.
Thank you.
My question to Avik sir and the host is that the sir has given us the slides. Can we get the PDF of those slides in the form of notes?
Uh,
Okay. Okay. We shall work that out. Thank you so much for giving me asking this. I shall send it across from my end, and then Sir Ajay sir and Arpit
sure.
sir will work it out how it can be handed over to you.
No. We will mail it to all these students. We are having
Right.
the record.
Right.
Okay, sir. My second point is again to Avik sir. Sir, one session was not enough. I'd like to have a second session for this because this topic is very interesting and it's enhances our skill also, sir.
Basant, we had already planned one more session with sir, maybe in third week or fourth week of February,
Okay, thank you, sir.
right? So,
Yes, sir.
on which day you wanted? You people want it on any weekday or in the weekend only?
In the weekends, Sunday would be preferably will be fine, sir.
But the problem is that for today's session also, we had to request a lot to Avik sir because for 6 days he is working and now
Yeah,
also he has to take the class.
yes, sir. I understand. I'm very grateful to Avik sir that he has
No,
delivered
it's
for
all
us.
right, Basant. I mean, it's always a privilege, to come back to
Mm,
people like you, where, I teach something to you and, I kind of teach something to myself. I learn a lot from all of you. This is a learning process that goes on. So, of course, it's a privilege. I would definitely come back if you guys demand me to come back on a weekend. But if it is possible, if you can make it on a weekday, please let me know. That would be more convenient.
yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Any other student?
Okay, Sapna is saying, sorry, sir, I have no question about today's session.
If you are
So,
having any other question, even Sapna, then even you can open the mic. No issue.
huh. Acha, sir, please make webinar on soft skills.
What soft skills you need? Tell me, Rahul.
Okay, so it seems nobody has any question as such. They just wanted to, ask you to get more sessions.
One question, sir. Can I come back, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Why not?
Yes, sir. Actually, I am also in the teaching profession, so I'd like to know that my voice sometimes get those kind of neck issues in my throat, sir. So can we have some physiology tips, sir, how to brush our make our voice more clean so that we can deliver our classes in a proper way, sir?
See, I think this is a very common problem, Basant, with almost all of us when we speak for at a stretch for 4, 5 hours, 6 hours. Our voice quality, tonal quality, and everything, breathlessness that comes, it's a part of our job only. But then again, how I handle it, how I have been handling it for so many years in my life, is that when I feel I'm getting a little overwhelmed, then I basically try speaking a little slow. I mean, slow not in terms of volume, but in terms of your pace. So if you put in less words within
Good
that
evening,
one
ma'am.
minute span, then your
मैं एक बार
voice
सर
is
को
like a
दिखाता हूँ
little,
आपको.
you
रुको.
get a little rest. And then there is another practical tip that you can do if it is becoming too exceedingly overwhelming for you and you think you cannot manage it anymore. This has happened to me quite
Good.
a few
मैं
times.
करता हूँ अभी
Then what
आपको
I
फिर
do,
क्लोजिंग करके ना.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I thought Ajay sir is saying me something. So what
No.
I do is like
Yes, sir.
I basically read
Yes, sir.
out one part of the PPT and
Yes,
then
sir.
close the PPT. Because if
Okay,
you
sir.
keep that PPT on, you continuously have this thing of going on from the PPT over and over again. So you
Yes, sir.
show the PPT to your pupil, then you close it and then start delivering from your own knowledge whatever you know from your heart, from your brain about that topic. Start talking, make it more interactive with the people.
Yes, sir.
And when you start interactive, then
Yes, sir.
when the other person is talking, you also get a little breather. You also get a little time, and it enhances your experience also. So I think these are a few practical tips that we can,
Yes, sir.
incorporate into our classes. Rest,
Yes.
if it is much of a medical condition, then I would definitely, suggest you to go to a
Yes,
ENT
sir.
specialist who can treat you there.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the tips, sir.
In this
Most
one,
Oh,
welcome.
yes, sir. Okay,
in
sir.
this one, Basant, I would give you one more suggestion that
Yes, sir.
better you
Please, sir.
do number one, the goggles. That
Yes,
will
sir.
help
Yes,
you
sir.
a lot.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
then you can do pranayama also.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right,
No,
because
noted, sir.
because
Yes,
you
sir.
are, as sir was saying, the practicing exhaling and inhaling also.
Yes, sir.
So if you are practicing it on a regular basis, it will
Yes, sir.
increase your pitch, and on the
Yes,
same
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
delivery of your content also.
Yes, sir.
That
Okay.
is from my experience, at least I can share with you.
Yes,
Fantastic,
sir.
fantastic.
Definitely,
Thank you
sir.
so much,
Thank.
sir.
Yes.
Now, Raghu is asking a question, how to increase boldness in my tone. Beta, now it depends on the situation that why you want your voice to be bold. That's a big prime question. Now, if you want to put stress on any part of your word for which you want your voice to be bold, that's a different story altogether. You can put in a lot of stress on in that part so that people, understand that. But otherwise, I don't see any reason to put any boldness to your voice, because as long as you can communicate effectively, and as long as people are understanding what you're trying to say and they are reciprocating appropriately, then it's okay. You don't need to unnecessarily, making your voice heavier to make somebody feel that okay, you are about to say something. No, if you are stressing on something, that's a different part altogether, that's a different story. You can stress one two sentences, you can say it louder, more clearer, so that it is clearly audible to the rest of the audience. But otherwise, in general, no need to enhance your boldness in voice. Each of us are blessed with lovely qualities from the Almighty. So be happy with that. And whatever voice you have, I'm sure you are excellent in your own ways. And, make others things. If you think your voice is not a strength, then you must be having several other strengths. Try to highlight your strengths so that the boldness in your voice is never even noticed. You speak and people listen. Maybe your gestures and postures would be appropriate. So start working on yourself, find out where you lack and where you are excellent.
Sir, one question is there from Shubham Shah.
Right.
In the question answer session, they are saying there is education or the work and their participants all over the world and their knowledge. I stands for those who have failed, not achieved. What is your answer on this?
Where do I get the question, sir?
Sir, in your panel, you will see Q&A near to
Okay,
participant.
Q&A. Right, right. I'll check Q&A. Right. Huh. Huh. There is education or the work and their participants all over the world and their knowledge. I stands for those who have failed, not achieved. What's your answer on this? Well, I'm not very clear, Shubham, with this question. But what I could understand from this is that you are trying to say that you stand with the people who have not been able to achieve something which they wanted to. It's totally fine. See, success and failure is how we perceive things. That's within our perception. What is failure to you could be immense success to somebody else. So this is, I totally agree with you in saying this, that you stand with people who have failed and not succeeded. That's fantastic. That's a great empathetic statement that you have made, that you always want to be with the people who have not been able to achieve something that they want to. But it's okay. See, achievement could be again very temporary. At the moment, you could be asking and longing for a car. Maybe after 5 years, you would be opting for a BMW car, and after 5 years, maybe you would be opting for a Bentley. So, our demands would never stop. So, what you are achieving at the moment, be very contented about it, be happy about it. And yes, if it is about knowledge, then there is nothing better than learning from people around you. We all need to keep our senses open all the time. See, see what people are doing, hear what people are saying, listen and appreciate their knowledge. I think that's the only way how I see success in my life. When my students teach me something and I, wholeheartedly in front of everybody, I say, okay, wow, I did not know this information. Thanks for teaching. So I think that openness has to be there towards learning new things in life, because every day it's a new experience for all of us. I'm not sure if I've given the right answer to your question, but that's what I understood from what you have written, Shubham.
Now here students, as you all people are, you note the PPTs of all this what sir has shared with us. For that we need your information, and for that's why we are taking your attendance also. So many of the students have not given us their attendance. They have not filled up the attendance form. So we will not be able to provide you all these inputs. So it is better that you fill up the attendance form so that we can provide all these things. Now, two students have said, Fareed Alam and Rahul, they are having a question. You please raise the hand so that we can unmute you.
Yes, Farid, I would love to hear it from you,
Yeah.
beta.
Yeah, Fareed.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, bacha.
So first of all, I want to say that the session was very great and it is very helpful, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, my question is what? As I am working from last 7 years in Gulf countries, in Saudi and Oman. So here we are problem what we are facing that here people don't understand pure English and we can't speak pure Arabic. So we are using the mix of the both languages, and it is I feel that it is affecting my English. So how to separate this? How to separate my English and this communication skills?
See, Farid, what I understand is what we were talking, it's called a linguistic barrier. We were talking about this
Yes.
in the session itself. So there is a language barrier that is coming in the way. So there is a problem. It's okay. Different parts of the world, they speak different languages and we have total respect for that. It's okay. But as you are saying, this is affecting your own English. It could be a case. I mean, definitely, I agree with you. It could affect your own English. But then I'm sure there are other people in your area, I mean, around you, who can speak better English also. I mean, they might not be the nationals of that country. They might be from India, just like you. They might be your friend or your relative or somebody from that nationality who speaks wonderful English. So, if, in general, if your English is suffering while communicating with common people there should be another group who can help you to keep your English alive. So when you see that one arm is not working, you will have to make good use of the second arm. That's the only way we can make it happen, right? So if you feel that commonly people are not understanding this and due to this your English is being suffered, make sure that you put extra efforts to use your second weapon, that is practicing your English with a group of people. That could be limited, 2 3 4 people, but practice, play it like a game. Like every evening when you sit with them or when you meet them, say for the next 10 minutes we are not going to communicate in any other language but English. This is for your own help. You are helping one another so that your knowledge about English always remains, no matter if in general it suffers. So this is how we balance our qualities.
Fareed,
Thank you, sir.
from
Thank you.
India,
And
from
we
which
need
place you
more.
are?
I am from Assam, Guwahati.
Okay.
Guwahati. Now, why I asked this question? That when we a few years back, when you shifted from Assam, before that, in your house, you would be speaking Assamese, and when you are going to college, you will be speaking in English. So there also we were managing.
Very true, very true. So it's just
Right.
that you always need to find your associates
But sir,
who
the
can
problem was
help
what
you
in
polish
our
your skills.
Yeah, Fareed.
yes.
Thank you, Farid, for joining in.
Yeah,
And
Rahul.
sir, we need more sessions from you.
Sorry.
We need more sessions from you.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. I'm glad to be back. I'll be back.
I am
Yeah.
so excited that I am working in my office because in Oman the Sunday is our work day,
Right.
and while working I am attending your session. So desperately we need more sessions from you.
Sure, we will have
Thank you.
more sessions. And one
Thank
more
you.
thing I would like to say that in your feedback form, we have clearly written any other type of sessions you need from our side. Please tell us so that we will be able to
Sure,
do
sir.
these
Sure,
things for you.
sure, sir. We will fill that. We will fill
Sure. Yeah, Rahul, you can open the mic.
Uh, uh, Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good
Uh,
afternoon, Rahul.
yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, basically, I am profession as a learning facilitator in the skill development center. I mean, sir, कि जैसे हमारे सर बिहार गवर्नमेंट में सर जो भी मतलब गांव के साइड के जो बच्चे लोग हैं या फिर टाउन के साइड में सर उन लोग को सर हम लोग स्किल डेवलपमेंट सिखाते हैं सर। तो उसमें 3
Wow.
सिलेबस आते हैं हम लोग के। एक है सर आईटी के हैं तो वो तो मैं सर टेक्निकली सॉल्व कर ही लेता हूँ। और सर 2 हमारे सिलेबस में आते हैं, एक है सर लैंग्वेज स्किल जिसमें हम लोग कम्युनिकेशन ये सब पढ़ाते हैं और एक है सॉफ्ट स्किल सर। तो सर मतलब आज का सेशन काफी बहुत अच्छा लगा, काफी सीखने को मिला आपसे, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था। तो सर मैं जहाँ पे काम करता हूँ वहाँ पे सर मेरा 4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है कि हम लोग सर बच्चे लोग को लर्निंग स्किल सिखाते हैं वहाँ पे। काफी सर बच्चे का डिमांड है कि सर मतलब जहाँ मैं काम करता हूँ वहाँ पे बहुत सारे टीचर है, 3-4 टीचर जो मतलब लर्निंग फैसिलिटी ये करते हैं सर। बट मैं उनमें सीनियर हूँ सर और 4 साल से मेरा काफी एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा रहा है। खासकर बच्चे लोग डिमांड करते हैं कि सर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल और सॉफ्ट स्किल का क्लास आप लो। सर मैं अपने हिसाब से काफी बहुत अच्छा करता हूँ, कोशिश करता हूँ कि बच्चे को मतलब ये करो। बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग मेरे क्लास को मतलब ये करते हैं प्रेफर कि नहीं सर की क्लास ज्वाइन करनी। इनफैक्ट मेरे एरिया के बहुत सारे कोचिंग्स है जहाँ पे बहुत से उनके फ्रेंड्स ने ये सब जाना, मेरे वीडियोज या फिर मतलब मेरे जो भी नोट्स ये सब पढ़ा तो उन लोगों ने मतलब कन्वे किया, उन्हें डिमांड किया कि आप मेरे कोचिंग में आके पढ़ो। तो सर मुझे एक मतलब मेरे कोचिंग में ये मुझे सीनियर ये की तरफ पे ये बताया गया कि अब आपको ये हैंडल करना है। तो मतलब सर मैं ये जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि मैं मुझे और क्या अच्छा करना चाहिए इस चीज में। जैसा कि आज आपने बताया कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, वहाँ ऐसे तो मैं भी पढ़ाता हूँ अपने क्लास में, लेकिन सर आज आपका जो ये नोट्स और ये जो पीपीटी था सर काफी बहुत अच्छा रहा। तो सर मैं यही अभी मैंने सर चैट बॉक्स में लिखा भी है कि सर आप सॉफ्ट स्किल पर भी एक वेबिनार कीजिएगा सर। तो मेरा क्वेश्चन
जी।
यही है लास्ट की सर मतलब मुझे और क्या अच्छा ऐसा करना चाहिए ताकि मैं बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट को और मतलब उनके माइंड को ये कर सकूं इन इस में सर।
राहुल सर, मैं तो एक सर के जवाब देने से पहले मैं
सर
एक
मुझे
चीज
ऐसा
कहना
लगता
चाहूंगा।
है आपके क्वेश्चन का जवाब सबसे सिंपल जवाब ये है कि हमें सबसे पहले तो यू आर लाइक परफेक्ट इन सेइंग कि यू आर हैप्पी अबाउट व्हाट यू आर डूइंग। आप खुद
यस
बहुत
सर, यस सर।
कंटेंटेड है, ये सबसे बड़ी बात है कि आप खुद कंटेंटेड है। नंबर 2, अगर आप अपने इम्प्रूवमेंट की बात बोल रहे हैं, सिंस आई डोंट नो यू पर्सनली, मैं वैसे तो आपको कोई जजमेंट नहीं दे पाऊंगा और ना ही मुझे देना बनता है। बट इन
यस
जनरल
सर।
मैं ऐसा बता सकता हूं कि अगर किसी इंसान को आपको नॉलेज प्रोवाइड करना है तो सबसे पहले जो चीज हमें चाहिए वो है सेल्फ इलेशन। मतलब आपके खुद की
यस सर,
नॉलेज
यस सर।
बहुत ज्यादा एडवांस लेवल पे हो, आप रिसर्च करो इस चीज को लेकर और पढ़ाई करो। और सबसे
यस सर।
जरूरी चीज कि आप खुद अपनी चीजों के ऊपर मतलब कॉन्फिडेंट, आप एक बार पीयर फीडबैक हमेशा ले। आपके जो लेवल के हैं आप उनसे
यस
पूछे
सर।
कि आप एक पीपीटी बनाए, आप उनको दिखाए और उनके सामने एक पीपीटी का पहले 5-6 स्लाइड्स आप करके ऐसे दिखाए कि जैसे आप बच्चों को दिखाओगे। तो इससे
यस
क्या
सर, यस
होगा,
सर।
वो आपको एक तगड़ा वाला फीडबैक देंगे कि हाँ सर यहाँ पे मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आया, वहां पे। तो पहले ही जब आप फाइनल गेम खेलने जा रहे हो ना, उससे पहले आपको पता होगा कि ये मेरे ड्रॉबैक एरियाज है, ये सारे मेरे स्ट्रेंथ्स है। तो मुझे स्ट्रेंथ्स को हाईलाइट करना है, ड्रॉबैक्स को मुझे छुपाना है। तो वो सारा
यस सर।
क्लियर आइडिया आपको पहले से होगा। तो ये आपको काफी हेल्प करेगा। दिस इज द वे आई डू ऑल्सो। मतलब आई ऑलवेज प्ले द गेम विद अदर्स whom I know, who are my peers। उनके साथ मैं हमेशा ये करता हूँ so that I always take criticism and feedback in a very positive way। एट द सेम टाइम मुझे लगता है कि और क्या कर सकते हो आप, पढ़ सकते हो। दैट्स द बेस्ट
यस।
थिंग दैट
यस सर।
यू कैन डू अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च। वीडियोस देखो, आज के जमाने में टेक्नोलॉजी इतना एडवांस्ड हो गया है, आप यूट्यूब में बड़े बड़े ओरेटर्स और स्पीकर्स के स्पीचेस देखो, उनके बॉडी लैंग्वेज देखो, उनके जेस्चर्स पॉचर्स फॉलो करो। वो आपको काफी हेल्प करेगा टू बिकम अ बेटर स्पीकर एंड अ बेटर पर्सन टू डिलीवर।
साथ में अविक
Thank you,
सर
sir.
के साथ में अविक सर के वीडियो देखो और उनको फॉलो करो।
यस सर, यस सर, यस सर, श्योर। इसीलिए सर मैंने सर का चैट कमेंट में लिखा भी है सर कि सर सॉफ्ट स्किल पर एक वेबिनार आ जाता तो सर काफी बेटर रहता सर।
आप और बताइए सॉफ्ट स्किल में किसी पर्टिकुलर स्किल का नाम लीजिए, हमें किस पे करना है, वी विल डू इट।
सर वैसे तो बहुत सारे हम लोग में टॉपिक जैसे इंटरपर्सनल स्किल्स हो गया, गोल
हाँ तो
सेटिंग
आप
एंड
लिखिए
डिसीजन
ना,
मेकिंग।
आपको
यस
जो
सर।
हमने फीडबैक फॉर्म दिया है आप उसमें लिखिए, जो भी आप टॉपिक कहते हैं उन पे हम लोग कर सकते हैं, कोई इशू नहीं है।
ओके ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
जी, नाउ
Thank you,
Risham
sir.
is having one question, sir. I want to know how to improve spoken English.
राइट, तो ये मैंने देखा, तो इसका किसी ने जवाब भी दिया है, डेली प्रैक्टिस। बट देन आई मीन लेट मी गिव यू अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल आंसर टू दिस। ये सवाल मुझसे अक्सर पूछा जाता है कि हाउ टू इम्प्रूव माय स्पोकन इंग्लिश। जो चीज मुझे लगता है सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्टिव, वो मैं आपको बताता हूँ। दो ऐसे तरीके, बड़ा स्मार्ट और इंटरेस्टिंग तरीका है। तरीका नंबर 1, सुनने में तो आपको हंसी आएगी, आपको लगेगा ये बेवकूफी वाली बात कह रहा हूं मैं, बट इन द लॉन्ग रन यू विल सी द रिजल्ट्स। हम जब भी ट्रैवल करते हैं ना, जब भी हम गाड़ी में, ट्रेन में, बस में ट्रैवल करते हैं, जब आप खुद गाड़ी चला रहे हो तब नहीं, जब आप पीछे बैठे हो एज अ पैसेंजर तब की बात कर रहा हूं, तो हमारे आसपास ना खूब सारे बैनर्स और पोस्टर्स हमें रास्ते में दिखता है। राइट, हम सबको दिखता है, चाहे वो डालडा का हो, हेयर ऑयल का हो, शैम्पू का हो या परफ्यूम का हो, कुछ ना कुछ हमें दिखता रहता है। तो मैं आपसे, आप सबसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, वो सारे पोस्टर्स ना आप पढ़ते हुए जाओ। जस्ट रीड। ऐसा नहीं कि पोस्टर लगा हुआ इग्नोर, नहीं, रीड एंड मूव। रीड करो। इससे क्या होता है, दो चीजें होती है। एक तो वहां पे जितने भी वर्ड्स लिखे हुए हैं वो सारे आपके वोकैबुलरी के अंदर एंटर हो रहा है। ठीक है, वो वर्ड आपने नहीं सुना था, अभी आप देख के सोचोगे अरे वाह ये वर्ड तो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, इसका मतलब देखता हूं, फिर आप डिक्शनरी में चेक करोगे, आपको एक नया वर्ड मिल गया। दूसरा, आपको सेंटेंस कंस्ट्रक्शन के बारे में एक आइडिया होता है। और तीसरा, आपको एक स्पेलिंग कॉन्सेप्ट होता है। मेजॉरिटी लोगों को टाइप करते टाइम बड़े स्पेलिंग्स लिखने में दिक्कत आती है, उनको लगता है ये ए होगा, ई होगा। तो जब आप वो बोर्डिंग्स और होर्डिंग्स पढ़ोगे तो आपको एक अच्छा वाला तगड़ा आइडिया हो जाएगा स्पेलिंग्स का। आपको लगेगा कि अरे यार वो स्पेलिंग तो मैंने देखा था, इसका वैसा था लिखा, चलो वो लिख देता हूं। सो इन द लॉन्ग रन दिस विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू। और सेकंड तरीका है बच्चों के स्टोरी बुक्स। ये मैं हमेशा बोलता हूं कि जितने भी बच्चों के स्टोरी बुक्स है, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम सेकंड स्टैंडर्ड टू फिफ्थ और सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड, छोटे बच्चों के जितने भी स्टोरी बुक्स है या ई बुक्स आजकल मिल जाते हैं, वो पढ़ो। क्योंकि उसमें लैंग्वेज वो इस्तेमाल किया जाता है जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे समझ पाए। सो देयर इंग्लिश इज वेरी इजी, नंबर 1। एट द सेम टाइम देयर इंग्लिश इज वेरी यूजफुल। तो वो सेंटेंस का इस्तेमाल करना आप अपनी लैंग्वेज में करो। ये दोनों चीजें बहुत प्रैक्टिकल है, इजी है, करते रहो। इन द लॉन्ग रन, इन द नेक्स्ट 1.5 years, you will see a drastic change within yourself. Somebody has written, I'm from Odisha here. Basically, you will get Odia posters. That's nice. I'm sure. See, I've been and lived in Odisha. I've lived in Bhubaneswar also. ऐसा नहीं है, भुवनेश्वर में बहुत सारे इंग्लिश पोस्टर्स होते हैं. Don't blame Odisha for that.
Sir, Sapna is having one question. Can you please tell me the language is the barrier of someone's career success?
Is this question, where is that?
It is little bit on the top in the chat box. Sapna.
एक बार दोबारा पढ़िए सर, एक बार kindly please read that.
It is at 4:14 p.m.
Okay.
You will be able to find out. Sapna.
4:14. Okay, okay.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Sapna. Good evening.
Sir, Sapna is here.
Good.
Oh,
Sir,
hi, Sapna.
Hi, sir. सर एक्चुअली मैंने चैट बॉक्स में मैसेज किया था और मैं आपसे डायरेक्टली भी यही पूछना चाहती हूँ कि हम लोगों का जो लैंग्वेज का प्रॉब्लम है, जैसे इंग्लिश, स्पोकन इंग्लिश का, तो ये क्या एक बहुत बड़ा मतलब बैरियर है क्या करियर के लिए?
जी सपना, मैं आपका क्वेश्चन भी सर ने बोला तो मैं 414 पे निकाल दिया, if language can be a barrier. Now honestly from my experience from the industry and the academics I can tell you कि language has never been a barrier. मैं ऐसे बहुत सारे एक्सपर्ट स्टूडेंट्स को देखा हूं जो बहुत अच्छे अच्छे पोजीशन में वो लोग बैठे हुए हैं और वो इंटरव्यू बड़े आसानी से क्रैक करते हैं, वो भी हिंदी में बात करके। अगर आप यूपीएससी या किसी भी बड़े इंटरव्यू देखते हो तो वहां पे देखना, वहां पे बहुत शुद्ध हिंदी का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है। सो इट कैन नेवर बी अ बैरियर। आपके सिर्फ नॉलेज होना जरूरी है बेटा, आपका नॉलेज आपके लिए बात करता है, आपकी लैंग्वेज कैन नेवर बी अ बैरियर। यस, व्हाट आई ऑलवेज से कि इंग्लिश वर्क्स एज अ, आई वुड से एज अ बोनस टू यू। अगर आपको इंग्लिश आती है तो वो आपके लिए आसान हो जाता है कई जगहों पे, कई सिचुएशन पे। बट अगर आपको नहीं आती, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप लाइफ में सक्सेस नहीं पा सकते या फिर आपको जॉब नहीं लगेगी। इसका ऐसा कोई रूल बुक नहीं है। यू स्पीक प्राउडली योर मदर टंग एंड यू विल बी वेरी सक्सेसफुल अगर आपका नॉलेज उस लेवल तक है। सो स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन योर नॉलेज एंड नॉट, डोंट रन आफ्टर लैंग्वेज। बट यस, इंग्लिश इज ऑलवेज एडवाइजेबल because that helps you in a little bit। थोड़ा सा वो पुश होता है ना, वो पुश में वो आपको खुद को महसूस हो जाएगा कि हाँ, ये लाइन मैंने इंग्लिश में बोला तो एक अलग इंप्रेशन बन गया। तो वो वाली चीज है। अदरवाइज आपको नहीं आती या इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप सक्सेस नहीं हो सकते।
यस सर, डेफिनेटली। लेकिन थोड़ा सा डर लगता है। ऐसा नहीं है, आपने 2 घंटे का जो भी हम लोग का सेशन लिया, वो सेशन में सब कुछ क्लियर है। आपने जो भी बोला, जो भी पढ़ाया, जो भी आपने दिखाया स्क्रीन पे, बट सर वही डर लगता है कि इंग्लिश बोले तो गलत हो जाएगा, कहीं उसकी वजह से
सपना
मैम,
बैड
ये
मैम,
डर
इंप्रेशन
इसलिए लगता है, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ये डर आपको इसलिए लगता है क्योंकि आपको बोलने के लिए कोई सहायक मिलता नहीं होगा। आप कभी
एक्चुअली सर।
कभार जब जरूरत पड़ती है तब बोलते होंगे, तब थोड़ा सा हिचकिचाहट तो हो गई। आपकी तो जो मदर टंग है वो हिंदी है।
यस सर।
जी, आप हिंदी इतने फ्लुएंटली कैसे बोल लेते हैं? क्योंकि आपके चारों तरफ, आपको हिंदी किसने सिखाया? किसी ने नहीं। जब आप 2 साल की थी तब से आप हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं, तब आपको व्याकरण या ग्रामर के बारे में भी नहीं पता था, लेकिन आप बोल सकते थे। कैसे? सुन के। क्योंकि आप पूरा दिन उसी माहौल में होते थे, वो सुनते थे, इसलिए आपने वही पिक किया। सेम विथ एनी अदर लैंग्वेज। इंग्लिश की आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, इंग्लिश आपको आती है, सब ठीक है। बोलना क्यों नहीं आ रहा? क्योंकि आप बहुत ज्यादा इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में एक्सपोज नहीं हो रहे। जैसे आप देखोगे आपके सामने 10 लोग इंग्लिश बोलेंगे ना 2 दिन तक कंटिन्यूअसली, तीसरे दिन आपके मुंह से भी इंग्लिश ही निकलेगा। तो इसके 2 तरीके हैं। या तो आप थोड़े से कुछ वीडियो वगैरह देखना, ऑडियो बुक सुनना प्रैक्टिस करो, या फिर जो मैं आसान तरीका बताता हूं, अपने कुछ 2-3 ऐसे लोग जो आपके साथ बहुत क्लोज है, जुड़े हुए, आपके फैमिली का पार्ट है या आपके क्लोज फ्रेंड्स है, उनके साथ छोटे छोटे गेम्स खेलो कि ऐसे सेंटेंस बनाएंगे, सेंटेंस बोलेंगे, एक दूसरे को करेक्ट करेंगे। इसी तरह से जितना आप इस माहौल के अंदर आने लग जाएंगे, उतना ज्यादा आपका ये स्किल एनहांस होता जाएगा। बट डोंट वरी, आपकी इंग्लिश ना आने से लाइफ में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। यू विल बी very successful and I'm sure you are already very successful in life. Best of luck from my side.
थैंक यू
thank
सर
you.
फॉर द
Thank you, Sapna. And thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now we are having this session more than half an hour, sir. This question answer session, one of the longest question answer sessions we had. So this was the all due to you, I would say. So now it is the closing time and I take this opportunity to give a vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank our today's guest, Mr. Avik Chakravarti, who has spared his valuable time on this Sunday also on our request. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
It's a privilege, sir. It's a privilege and it's such an honor to be with you and Arpit sir and with other members from LPU along with such lovely and vibrant audience. I'm really excited
that is the
and
most
I'm
important
really,
thing.
really happy that I did this.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And with this, now I would like to thank my seniors, my colleagues, and my fellows also. And in the end, to all my dear students who has come on this weekend also, joined this session and participated a lot. Thanks a lot to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Goodbye.
With this